Hello, everybody. This is Grimcad, and we are here with some Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I already started to mess it up. And it's been a while since we've gotten back to this one, but this is our Seas of Vodari campaign in the campaign setting. It's got a handy little book. You guys should check it out. There have been some cast changes. A couple of our players, couldn't make it to a couple sessions. Long story short, they wound up dipping out, and unfortunately, Flux had to leave as well. Different changes in living conditions or living circumstances. Living conditions makes it sound very strange. So, unfortunately, they're no longer going to be with us, but, we wish them all the best of luck in much success and happiness in finding supergroups. The good news, however, is that we have picked up a couple of new players, and eventually we will get around to introducing them as players. But I figure we'll go down the list and sort of introduce our older players first. So why don't you say who you are playing, and maybe a line or two about either yourself or your character. It doesn't really matter which, feel free to choose. For example, I go by Grimcad. That's not the name my parents named me because they love me. And I have been playing, Dungeons and Dragons since like 2nd edition, so an awful long time. We'll go down the list and we will hit up Nyx.
Hello, I am 420MYK or Gypsy. If you know me in real life, I played Nyx in an Arcane Puppeteer homebrew class. She's not really meant to be a frontliner, but because of how I play her before fights, she always ends up in the middle of the combat arena, because that's just her personality. Just walk in without checking shit properly. Besides that, I've been playing D&D. No, I had my first experience when I was like 7 or 8 or something like that, and only been hardcore playing it the past 4 or 5 years.
All right, very nice. We'll move right on down the line with Sharfer. Say hi, Sharfer.
Hello, I am Sharfer. I also go by Mufusa because I'm very unoriginal and also don't like copyright infringement.
Can't spell.
Yeah, sure. It's because I can't spell. No, I actually can't spell. but yeah. I've been playing D&D for probably a few years now. Mostly on Roll20, but I have had a little bit of experience at a table. I play a rogue who wears bright colors and doesn't do many rogue things except steal and get caught.
Very nice.
I don't think you stole anything. I'm pretty sure you've only ever been caught.
He's attempted to steal before. That's the important thing.
So not that counts.
Exactly.
And last, the fact that I got caught means it's not a rogue thing.
But not least, amongst our original players, we have a Tytherin.
That's me. I'm Tytherin. That's what my name is in real life. I'm just a robot. You may not know this about me, but it's true. I don't even have like a human body. I'm just like a potato clock.
Sammy.
I've played recently of maybe like a month of D&D. Otherwise, I used to play a bit way long ago, and I sort of like followed D&D, but didn't really play much. But outside that, 3.5 was the first one. Actually, technically 5th was the first one. No, 4th, because 5th didn't exist then, but then 5th, and then 3.5, and then 5th again. But yeah. Me.
All right.
Well, I'm not actually Tytherin. I'm not a potato in real life. I'm Nikki, and I'm a human.
Thank you. So one of the things is that I will refer to you for the most part, or at least I will attempt to refer to you by your character names as much as possible. I see you both have like short syllable characters, so that's good because I tend to sort of, lazily move everything down to a syllable or two anyway.
I know you managed to start saying my character name properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really hard. It's because in my head, I keep calling you Ty. And then I have to, just sort of extend it around there.
But like you would always say Teethrin.
Yeah, well, now I'm in my head is what I'm saying. I'm saying Ty.
I like it.
Right. So as for our new folks, whom we are very happy to have, we'll start with Killright. Say hi.
Hi. I'm Keo. I've been playing D&D for about 6 years now. I've pretty much started in 5th edition, mainly thanks to, the show Critical Role. It really kind of sparked the interest in that. Well, it's like I've kind of knew about it before then, but like just watching something from them, actually, it was just like, oh, wow, I kind of really want to play this. So I got out there on Roll20, tried to find some games. A lot of them didn't really go through. It was in one long-term one. But yes, and I will be playing Azori Vinde, a celestial warlock and an all-around healer of both people and ships.
Okay, very nice. And we are also joined, again, last but certainly not least, this time for real, by Sergio Link. Say hi.
Hi, I am Sergio, and I've been playing for about, I'd say, 5 or 6 years. Mostly only 5th edition, actually. I've played other systems that are not D&D, but for D&D only 5th edition. And I've PM'd quite a fair bit as well, and so I know my way in the game, of course. And I'll be playing Kaya, a monk who's a little bit hot-headed and just she tries to do good, but she can sometimes get a little bit violent because that's the way she knows how to deal with things.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what we're going to do next is do sort of a large overarching recap over sort of the events that have happened. So if you know what happens and I start to say and I forget things or I get things out of order, please feel free to jump in and correct me. As I know you'll do without me even, prompting you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good at that.
So, we're going to move over to the great big map for now. I certainly hope your computers don't explode. I still haven't, done anything.
Impressed them.
But this is the gigantic map.
Well, now we got fiber here. I don't think my Discord's even crashing going onto this map.
Oh, very nice. I'm very happy. So we all started. I will pull us there. A lot of the map is hidden. All the way over here.
Certainly not small.
It is definitely not small. It's also to scale. I'm very proud of that fact. It's going to be a long time to get it to scale correctly.
It's a ridiculous scale, too.
Oh, it's
I was about to say, because I'm at 10%, and it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Again, on my list of things to do is to make smaller chunks of the map, but you know how things go. But either way, we all started in the town of Vardy. All the players, for their own reasons, were looking to book passage from Vardy over to the Mistwood. And they wound up doing so on a ship that was called the Mother of Pearl. most, and I certainly believe everybody, come to think of it, wound up choosing not to sort of pay for this journey, but rather have signed on as crew, sort of in a temporary means, while they get from point A into point B, and are more or less.
I was actually permanent clear, more or less.
What's that?
Because my job was, I was there to join the crew.
With the exception of Tytherin, who is permanently joining the ship as their navigator. We traveled, and we traveled. And some things have happened. I suppose. You know what? We'll sort of go ahead and do like tiny little. Oh no, people shouldn't be watching. Meeting these people. How should we start? Let's see. Captain Teclin, who we see with an X overhead, is the captain of the ship.
A little bit of a spoiler.
A little bit of spoiler, and you know, if you're astute, there's even a little bit more spoilers.
Yeah.
Her first mate, Jonathan Jess. I also have handouts. I'm going to show handouts. I'm very proud of these handouts.
He's good now.
Let's see.
He's out there, I believe.
Her first mate, Jonathan Jess, was more or less running the ship through various events, reasons, and whatnot. Captain Teclin has been more or less, or was more or less, unseen presence, which we had been told is rather out of character for her. We have met Cherwin Bros, the second mate. He's technically the one who actually hired the entire party or joined them on. We have met Dodric Amberbrow, who happens to be the bosun or the boatswain. That is a person who, if something goes wrong with the ship needs repairs or fixing, he is the dwarf that is in charge of and responsible for it. One of the other people of note who happen to be from the crew is Stubby. We're not entirely sure what sort of his job title is, but he certainly seems to be leading the crew and typically does so at night. He's a small, sort of reptile person. I don't believe we delved further into his origins, so many people don't really know what he is. Because it's certainly not information he's volunteered. Throughout the time, we've met some sort of passengers that have sort of appeared a lot, and some who have not appeared a lot. One who has not appeared a lot was Jareth Swagglestan, a gnomish merchant, who, to be very frank, besides seeing him in the first maybe 2 episodes or so, has sort of almost disappeared off the ship, and nobody ever thought twice about that.
I mean, he was in the Do Not Disturb bunks or whatnot.
He was not, as a matter of fact.
Okay, well, he was still a passenger. We were told not to heckle him.
That is true.
So.
We met some people, as was alluded to. There was a group of passengers that we were told not to disturb. We were not to look at them. We were not to talk with them. We were not even to talk about amongst ourselves about our presence. In no particular order. And again, we don't really know names of any of these ones. But we have seen them at least. Well, we know, I believe, one of their names.
One name. That's good enough.
Which is the last one.
Ooh.
And I realized I didn't even put their name down yet. Which was the ugly one. Who out of everyone there, I believe we have talked to the most and created the most rapport with, interestingly enough.
Yep. I mean, he was the only one who did talk.
That's true.
More or less.
She, by the way.
At least it.
Oh, how dare you.
I mean, it's just the fact.
I mean, I considered them my friend.
So events happened. The journey continued.
We got in a fight.
We got
Actually,
in a fight.
no. We were skipping over a very important part because I believe the ship boarding happened before the ugly one and all that. Really, at least as us talking to them.
No, I don't believe so, because Sharfer got put, locked away after the incidents, and he was obviously free to talk with the ugly one from before.
But I think that happened at night when he was still on like his punishment shift.
Oh well.
I'm
either
pretty sure
way.
the ugly one that came out like the first night to go fishing or something.
Yeah, but we talked to them on like the later in the ship. But yeah, that's a minor detail. But yeah,
We talked to him
Pirates.
several
Ghost
times. We were attacked by pirates. Not the bilge pirate. That was a different pirate. We were attacked by...
ghost pirates.
It was ghost pirates, basically. It was apparently a captain by the names of Jory Brittlebones, a skeletal captain. He was... or had... a mage on the ship, obviously of very likely some power. It chained to the deck of the ship. The mage was able to turn the entire ship invisible, and so they ambushed fairly well. Luckily, they were not incredibly well armed, i.e. no cannons, and so we made mostly short work of them, although a fair number of the crew were lost as things happened. From there...
Only like 2 or 3, a lot.
There were a couple.
Like, that was not much.
The next big thing
I
of
mean,
import...
all the people total. There's like, what, 20, 30, 20 people or so on this crew?
More than
2
that,
or 3
but
of
yeah.
Yeah, so like a very small chunk overall.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we were told not to sort of go into the bilge as well as a new system was put in, sort of an automatic bilge pump, and that sort of vaguely told that the machinery was dangerous, the magic was dangerous, sort of vaguely spoken to it. Regardless, through about the, say, week or so of in-game play, people had been hearing voices coming from the bilge.
What about Sharper's Great Adventure? After the pirate ship.
Okay, we can talk about Sharper's Great Adventure.
I mean, all this did happen in between, and it is relevant. to the
You're right,
story.
it can be relevant. So, after defeating Jory Brittlebones, we went onto his ship, discovered it was mostly held together with spit and hope, and sort of undead magics, which were now sort of falling apart. And we managed to find a chest filled with several thousand silver pieces.
Copper, I think, actually.
Can't
I think even more.
entirely remember, but...
It was pretty worthless. I think it was copper, because that's why, like, we talked about later, it's like, man, he got, like, thrown in jail because he tried to grab, like, 2 silver, stuff like that.
Yes, as we were looting, we were down there with the first mate, who was effectively in charge with the ship, Jonathan Jess. Sharfer decided to stick his fingers in and grab some of the loot before anybody else could. The loot getting shared, and was surprisingly, or not very surprisingly, caught. He was sort of given the worst jobs amongst the worst jobs, and sort of a combination of purposely mucking them up and sort of not purposely mucking them up. Eventually wound up getting locked into a room, sort of a makeshift prison, as it were.
Well, he got locked up because there was a fight where people were bullying him.
There was a
And
I
he was
denied a duel. I denied a duel because they were not honorable.
And then he rolled a bluff, like, it wasn't my fault, and rolled a 1. And all of that accumulated to him basically being everyone in the crew hating him, and then he got thrown in jail. I believe.
Yes, I believe you are correct. He was definitely getting bullied around by some of the crew members who were not happy that they were that Sharfer was stealing from them, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, I bet they'll try.
I love those salted apples. It's grandmother's favorite recipe.
So again, all throughout this time, people have been hearing voices from the village. A single voice crying out rather softly to help them. Help me, help me. No one thought this was relevant information to speak with about anyone else. And so, of the, I believe, 4 people of the group of 6 who heard it, no one decided to tell anyone or do anything about it.
I've legitimately only just found out what the noise was.
Let's just ignore the voices down there.
Exactly.
It's not our problem.
We're
squishy.
Funniest thing.
People are ignoring cries for help. I don't think we're the good guys.
Eventually, a conversation between Tytherin and Jonathan Jess, tensions running high on the ship because of Captain Teklin's notable absence. She was present on the ship, however, she was more or less confined to her quarters, which was very unusual and not fitting in line with her personality. Sort of prompted the idea that there may be some sort of magical influence going on over the captain. We began to search the ship from top to bottom, and eventually, I can't think of his character's name, but Flux eventually got
Flux was playing
already archived his
Varial.
sheet.
Varial.
I was trying to call it Varian. Got the idea to actually search the build. What came out of the bilge was a rather undead, rather sickly, rather sorry, rather disgustingly rotted and wet pirate who was begging for help. Getting over his initial disgust and fears, eventually he called the rest of the party in. And the story...
what happened was it came up and he like screamed, and then I ran in the room and tried to kill it and I missed, and then it started hugging him.
You did try to attack it, I remember.
And then eventually like it started hugging me, and then I just sort of stood there, and then Jess came in and we like figured out it was Declan. And then we immediately went up to the captain's quarters where you can carry on from there.
Yes. Revealed by the bilge pirate that she, the undead creature, was Captain Teklan.
Just thrown in there?
Just thrown it in there, right.
Well, no, she was thrown in there.
Oh, yeah, she was thrown in something by an unknown creature. Everyone rushed to see the quote-unquote real Captain Teklan, who we later found out is not the real Captain Teklan. We sort of attempted to lie our way in, which went rather poorly. And eventually, I believe we wound up kicking the door down. Well, the captain almost instantly fired on the rest of the party, and so battle ensued. Once the captain was defeated with the help of some of the officers of the ship, the aforementioned ones with portraits.
You're also glossing over the fact that like they almost kicked our ass. Like, Varial got one shot, and I went down to like 1 HP.
We discovered that this fake captain was a doppelganger that had assumed the real captain's identity and killed her and locked her into the bilge. Shortly after,
hurricane.
Basically a hurricane, yeah. The storm to sort of the kind of storm that you write about. Obviously not the biggest storm that happens to be going on the plane, but quite a large hurricane sprang up. It wound up lasting for several days and pulling us way off course to basically whom knows where. There was an incident where these mountain spires sort of raised up from the sea and wound up holding the ship aloft. At some point, 2 of these 6 mountain spires came together in the middle of the ship. Oh, goodness. I forget exactly what the joke was, too.
I don't even remember what joke you're trying to allude to.
I don't. Well, either way.
Was it me? Was it me shooting off a big chunk and then
No,
jumping at it and just flat into the wall?
That was pretty funny, but I think it was something that Flux said.
The Snippy Shippy?
The
That came much
Snippy
later.
Shippy. The ship was cut in 2. Several days later, or at least we believe several days later, because we were sure tired enough for it, we came upon a deserted island. This island right here, a lost island, let's put it that way. Certainly not deserted, because you're correct, but lost as in the fact that it doesn't appear on maps. You certainly don't know about it, Tytherin, and that's enough to tell you that is not likely charted.
Yeah. I know where we are generally, but it's not on the map.
Exactly.
You were like, oh, we'll just figure out where we are. According to my calculations, we are at the bottom of the ocean.
We stopped at a cave, conveniently placed right there on the beach, right where we sort of washed ashore, and we found a statue to what certainly looked like some sort of warrior. The only real things of note about them, however, were I can't find my handouts. Were 2 weapons. 2 Makwaddles, which is an Aztec weapon in real life, but is what it is. A piece of wood with either obsidian or shark tooths attached to it. We, somewhat out of character and shockingly to me, decided to leave these things alone.
It's my character to not take them.
That's true, but, I've played other games with some of the other people we're with, and, I'm very surprised they lasted.
Well, I can't use them, so there's no point in me stealing them.
Of course.
But I did think about it, yeah.
Explored from our cave over around, and we found a village.
Yep. The village.
Oh, look at that wonderful painting right there of Chester.
All the drawing. It was so good.
Chester's great.
Wolf, we have sort of... we went through a lot of things at the village. There were a lot of translation issues. It turns out that they are speaking a mostly dead language, but they know a fair amount of Druidic. Enough to get by at the very least. Go ahead.
I just thought of something. Our translator is one of the players who left.
Yep.
Sure.
So next time we run into them, it's going to be like,
He's technically still with us.
yes, true.
We can say Nashtag.
We can say
Yeah,
we can
not
say
in
Nashta, which means frog. Giant frog. One that they were using as some sort of cattle, it appeared. So, again, sort of a lot of back and forth and sort of broken talking, this pigeon language. We've discovered that they have been isolated since, quote-unquote, the world's destruction. Since the creation of the great storm, Vesri's Rage, they thought they were the only ones here on the island. Or rather, in existence.
Yeah, like they were fully surprised.
Some key points that we've learned are they worship a great god, which they call... I'm not looking at it in this moment. Kabuka, I believe, which they call the god of rain. They do not have large ships, as it turns out that Kabuka will destroy things that are large like that. So we sort of have an issue about how to get off the island, which we'll probably address at a later date when we really want to get off the island.
So right now.
It's just
Other...
cool.
Go ahead.
Magic users can cast fly. We'll just kill
We're
balls until we can cast
early.
fly.
You can fly off the whole island. It's gonna be a little bit more than 10 minutes.
We will raise the entire island.
Let's see.
Interesting. We've sort of, again, met a bunch of people. We have met Grok, the village chief. We have met Drew Kax-Ishk, who is a shaman, more of a druid of sorts. We have met Kess, and now Kess happens to be a priestess, and Kess does not like our party very much.
She stood in the rain and glared at us. And then
But
left.
she's also full of shit.
I believe we actually had a conversation were overheard. I can't quite remember of it.
Well, she talked to us. I think that she was talking to us directly, yeah. Because
She talked
Vodari
to
was
Eric.
She tried to step one of us out.
Yeah, and then we
we
went.
said to go
and
sacrifice ourselves to the god or something like that.
Then we talked to someone else. I think it was Druka, and he was like, "Oh, nah, don't pay her any attention. She's not as powerful as she likes."
She's
to
a
think she-"
loser.
Yeah, she's a loser.
Very much so. And the other person of note that we have met from there is Shafira, who is an awakened, for all intents and purposes, secretary bird, which is sort of the real-life analog to it. And we are actually traveling with her, as it turns out that the folks do not treat her very kindly, more like a pet. She was apparently awakened by the previous shaman some years ago, and while life under the previous shaman, not too bad. Life under the current leadership, not too great. So she has sort of volunteered to be a guide for us, and is leading us out into the world. The idea, as we are exploring the island, is that we are looking for survivors. Surely if we survive, someone else could survive. So we are sort of combing the outside of the beach, looking for other signs of life. Which has sort of led us up and around to here. There are 3 points of interest that we know about. We have been told 4.
You include the village.
I was saying unknown points of interest.
Fair.
We have been told that
Not to go
these
for
3
anyone.
points of interest we should not be visiting under any circumstances. There is some sort of druid's grove that was created by the previous shaman in the middle. There are the breeding grounds of the secretary birds of the Shafira's people, quote-unquote people, I guess, which is exactly where we happen to be right now. And then there is the temple, which happens to be the home of the god Kabuka in the, lower left-hand side.
And this is where we land.
I believe that is mostly everything. If I'm not,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm
pretty
wrong,
much it.
now's the time to say it.
Uh,
Will I take a deep
yes,
drink?
I believe that is everything, but I cannot remember. Did they spot just the fire, or did I need to fire off a pistol for them to find me as well?
It was the fire.
Smoke.
It was just
It was the fire.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
I-
that is another thing. The
That was
weather
all came.
on the plane is weird, to say the very least, due to interference from Vesri's Rage, this great magical storm perpetually swirling in the middle of the continent, or where the continent was, where the plane is. Weather happens to be weird. We happened upon one of these weird effects, and Nyx was sort of shunted forward in time by an hour. Sort of like snapping your fingers. One moment she was walking along with us. The next moment she had disappeared from the party. And to her perspective, she was, an hour forward or so.
Ooh.
We spent several hours looking for her. Because, the party, knowing that we were not supposed to head to this sort of area, it was sort of shying away from it. Nyx, however, we're sort of hand-waving this, of course, not to put words in her mouth about her personality, but that's exactly what I'm about to do. Decided to just head on forward.
Yeah, she just followed the straight line, which she would have done anyway.
Okay. Eventually, a combination, I believe, of firing a weapon off, which happens to be very loud, as you can imagine.
We talked about there was weapon fire.
Yeah, it was just the fire. We talked about
Just
that.
Just fire? Okay, no weapon.
There wasn't a fire, and then there was a fire.
So I was going to use the pistol if I needed to, but I hadn't marked off the extra powder.
Gotcha. All good then. But yes, we have been sort of reunited with our party. It had been the evening, and so we had went to sleep. I didn't record an episode, and some wacky hijinks ensued in our sleep, namely a battle. Congratulations, Tythrin.
I know. Oh, amazing.
And when we wake up, Varial is missing.
No, you can't just literally whisk this man away for no reason.
You
That
can
may
use it.
or may not be what I'm doing. Either way.
And also,
Never.
that's a you can't even say when we wake up he's missing because we've already been walking and we stopped at the point at which we met up with Nick surrounded by all the birds.
It was nighttime. You went to bed. You're absolutely right. But, one of the things that we are going to do, funnily enough,
He's
is
gonna
that
disappear.
pretty much. In the middle of the night, he will no longer be here. Where we are right now, and we may or may not even be here. We are not even here.
Just use my style for getting rid of characters that disappear from a campaign.
Yeah, let's just get rid of Nix instead.
You guys wake
Yes,
up and just feel like someone's missing, but you can't remember who it is.
No.
Ooh.
If we don't
Everyone's-
remember them, they weren't important.
Everyone's accounted for, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is missing.
We're gonna
It's been 3 years. I feel like you've missed like 17 people.
I feel like you should be walking around with a platoon worth of people. There's still 4 of you.
Am I cursed, do you wonder?
Love it.
But yes, we are at the birds.
We are at the birds. What we have here is somewhat deceptive. These are very, very shallow waters right here. I mean, it's not even less something that you would say is shallow and more or less just a puddle, an accumulation of water. So you are absolutely 100% free to walk on the water. You can see elevation, where elevation is, and it goes in about 10-foot increments per 5-foot square, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
right here is about 20 feet between here and here.
Oh look, and there's even a nice place for me to set my fire.
We would be approaching from the south.
So am I already with the party?
You are ready with the party. You would still be south too. You would not be amongst the birds.
I do believe that we like already talked to Nyx and all that, and we did like our whole, oh, Nyx, we couldn't find you. What took you so long? Yada yada yada.
Hey man, that was like 3 weeks ago.
It was quite some time ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
We can either hand wave it, or we can go ahead and we can do it again.
We will just continue on.
Okay.
Ah, I found you guys. Yay. Let's
We
continue.
can sort of expedite it, so we
Yeah.
don't,
It
bad
happened,
for the next
but we
30
don't-
minutes.
I mean, Nyx wouldn't have much to say on that anyway. She just sat there and lit a fire so you guys would see it.
And besides, we technically were supposed to be quiet because there's sleepy birds or something like that, so
Yeah.
I'll be like, we'll take this conversation somewhere else.
Less sleepy and more aggressive during this time. And that is something that Shafira would tell you as we're sort of going into this area. We should be careful while we're here. No sudden movements or loud noises or anything like that. The birds startle easily, and at this time of the year, they're quite aggressive.
Does she refer to them as the birds? Isn't
She
that,
does.
Like, really elitist? It's really elitist of her. I'll note this
Do
down
you comment to
eventually.
her about that?
You know what? Sure. I'll be like, you say the birds, but aren't you a bird?
She would definitely bristle at that. I was one once, but I'm not anymore. That's insulting. I think I'm no mere animal anymore.
Sure.
I think you might have rustled a feather.
There's a level of insult here. Just not sure at who.
Look, I rolled a 21 in stealth, so like, I've never moved quieter in my entire life.
You feel confident that you are moving quite quietly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But we should. Question: is Varial with us right now?
He is with you right now.
I was gonna.
Okay.
I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah. Let's see your critical roll do something against a low roll.
I like pick Nyx up and move quietly with her.
Shafira would sort of speak up again. Do we have reason to be here? I somewhat
No, we don't. And
dislike
at
being
Nick.
amongst them.
Well, I'll do this and see absolutely nothing. There might be survivors over those hills over there.
Yeah, but they could also be anywhere else. We don't need to check here right this second.
If there were survivors and they washed ashore here,
They were eaten alive.
well, it's possible. Likely killed unless they could certainly take care of themselves. I still see the rest of the others, but I don't see any of your companions, so take
We
that
should
as you
certainly
will.
We can talk anywhere, but here's not the place. And I will stealthily sneak away on my tiptoe.
I just don't like being around them.
I'm sorry
Nyx
to you through these.
would be
trouble.
happy with leaving if there's a reason to leave. She doesn't like being around them.
I don't
So-
really think there's anything to gain here.
I would less sneakily follow Tythrin.
Oh my gosh. Poor perception. Actually, you rolled a 15 on stealth, but
No, I rolled a
Uh,
5. Sharper rolled a 15.
I'm just
well,
follow
yeah.
up behind and then be like, I know you're trying to be really stealthy, but stop splashing in the puddles. That's really loud.
She's just doing her usual, like, dancing cartwheels
She's, like,
through
cartwheeling.
walking, yeah. And then there's also the fact that she's also controlling her 2 puppets.
Which are also
Would be-
backflipping.
Yeah,
through the
which are
walls.
also doing their circus troupe performances. This is my sneaking, guys.
Like, I comment that it could be slightly worse. One might say 1 degree more worse.
So it is getting towards the late afternoon, but you probably have a good
no way it
2
could
or
be late
3
afternoon.
miles still in you, if you wish to travel further.
Do it.
How's it the late afternoon? Because, like, we woke up, like, right here. And then don't we get to move, like, 28 spaces a day or something like that?
I mean,
Like,
I
we didn't
certainly
spend-
don't remember when you woke up. It's been 3 or 4 weeks.
I remember. Like, we woke up here.
Oh,
Because remember we were
yeah.
sleeping in, like, the forest and
How
all that?
How about this? How about this? We take one night right where we are on the tile where we are and pick up the next day.
Because why would we sleep in the middle of the morning?
Because we spent a lot of time at the peninsula looking at the birds.
A lot of time. Just really stretching that conversation. Each word just took a whole hour to come out.
Ugh. We could do either. I don't
Like,
mind.
Like, it's not a big deal, but because Nick's got whisked away in the morning, and you know, like maybe it's like sort of like noon or past noon, but certainly late afternoon, you know. Well, like I said, it doesn't matter. Sure, like if we just want to like rest right here, something say not at the birds. I'm fine with
Okay. So you go ahead and set up camp. I'm not going to go through the rigmarole and do like perception and all
we
that
do
kind
a
of thing for
watch,
right now.
whatever, yada yada.
Right.
Varial disappears.
Varial,
Not really.
again, the next day has disappeared.
Oh God, Varial. Do I see any tracks, Grill?
Would you
The
like to
crab's
look for
got it.
some? It's a survival check.
Sure. You know, I was so good at tracking Nick, so I'm gonna look to track. This is actually even gonna roll. I think
You
I'm
do
just
not
gonna- I rolled-
see any tracks.
No, at this point, I definitely see some tracks.
Mostly bird tracks, I would presume.
Well, I mean, I could track Nick's with my terrible rolls. At this point, I know exactly where he is.
You didn't track Nyx.
Exactly.
You walked in the wrong direction until you saw where she was via fire.
We thought. All right. Well, we've 100% lost our best friend, Varial.
Yes. Onward.
And
So that does
Yeah.
mean one thing different.
We can't talk.
we have to eat now.
It means you
Well,
don't
let me
have
read
any
that.
food
You guys
for
have to eat
one.
now.
Oh, well, I like perfectly butchered all of the frog, and we all took
That's true.
frog
We're
meat.
carrying like an
we've got at
entire
least
frog.
5. Yeah, we've got
Mhm.
at least 5 pieces of frog meat each.
Yeah, we are like loaded up on frog meat.
All right. So do you want to take some time and cook that frog meat?
Yes.
All right. So
What I imagine we would have done either the night before or in the morning, as we need it.
Yeah, we can like cure some of it. We have salt.
No, because
with what?
because our magic
Salt.
user left.
But like, I mean, we've got an ocean. It's got salt.
Do you want to take time to boil down the salt?
Yeah, we
I
don't
mean,
have a
I
month
can
for
all
the
that.
boiling, and then 3 months for the curing. And our magic users are gone, so we can't just get them to magic it. I would spend my downtime through the night cooking my 5 portions of meat, so I know I've got 5 rations, because I just realized I don't even have normal rations either anymore.
Why do you not?
Yeah,
I do. I have 1 ration left.
yeah. I think cooking it all will be the best way to preserve it. I don't think raw frog meat will survive that.
Sure. We cook all the raw meat. In the
Okay.
night.
I
Do a
mean,
nice,
I
a
had-
night like charred, like consistency where it won't
I had
stay-
5. It's going to last 3 or 4 days. Cool.
Well, I have 5 as well.
Yeah, so, as
Strong.
long as we save our non-rotting rations for later, any that we have left. Python, you don't even eat!
Yeah, I know. I don't.
You're welcome.
You're just
You're-
walking around as a flesh flayer.
That I don't know. He made this joke. I'm just carrying the raw meat with me. I mean, I'm carrying it for you. And,
Are you our tanning
sorry
rack?
for it. I do not have a tanning.
We can make you a tanning rack.
I think I'll pass on such a
If
modification.
I find some metal, I'm going to make Tython a tanning rack. To just slot
I
into.
know. I kind of open my chest cavity. It works like an oven, like a microwave.
It's mildly warm.
Tythron's biltongs.
So for the next day, sort of what speed would we like to be going on? Keeping
Well,
in mind that
here's
if
the-
we're...
Slightly meta, but for obvious reasons. Because to pick up these 2, we do want to go back to the village, correct? Because if so, I would suggest.
No,
hey,
no. We
no?
don't.
We have to find them.
Over this way somewhere.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, because what I would suggest, if Varial disappears, I would suggest we should go back to the village. That's what I would suggest. Because, we could look around, but we don't know where he is. We don't see a fire. I'd be like, maybe he went back to the village. Maybe the village people would know.
What I
I
would
think that would
suggest
be
would
what I would say.
what I would suggest would be my original plan, and say we head towards the temple.
Our numbers are dropping as we go. I don't think that's a smart idea.
I think we should, at the very least, finish mapping the island and, go around the entire edge of it.
I still don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think going back to the village will be very useful, because
What do we have to lose?
weren't they the only
We have
person who
everything
could
to
talk?
lose out here on an uncharted island. We have nothing to lose, really, back at the
That's
village.
also a point. Varial was the only one who could actually speak with the villagers. So,
That does make a good point.
We might have a bit of problem because, a couple of them seemed okay with us, but not all of them were. And that Cass, at the very least, was not fond of us by
How
any
much Druidic did I learn while we were at that village, Grim?
You heard Nash.
Druidic nothing. And I believe you learned how to
Nashte.
say Nashte.
Nashte.
And I'm pretty sure they took it as you were saying.
I'm now Nashte, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't your nickname Frog now?
Yep, that's me. Nashte. Maybe we can we can work it out. If we wish to continue then throughout the island, we can, but I still think heading back to the village would maybe be a better idea. Considering
If it's a factor of you wish to see Varial again, and should kind of shift into Varial's face. See? Varial's back again.
that does not lighten the mood much. Or should I say at all?
And she'd go back to her normal, natural face.
It's not a matter necessarily of missing him. It's a matter of if we are losing people the longer
You're
we're
right,
out
I'm
here.
getting a call.
Oh gosh, Nix, no. Getting an ancestral telegram. But if 2 of us want to keep exploring the island, because what do you say?
Me,
Sharper.
me.
Because
I kind of
Everyone wants to explore
wanted to go. I kind of wanted to go directly to the temple. They didn't. They told us definitely not to go to it.
I mean, if two of us want to keep,
that has been my plan. And
then I
and,
guess we'll keep exploring. Graham,
and,
what's
and
the
I
weather?
don't think that we can talk to anyone back there, so I don't think we'll have good luck going back to the village.
Okay, well, why don't you roll me the random weather real quick? And I will make my roll on my side.
You all die because it's a stupid tornado. Just
Where's a
sucks you away.
tornado? It is rather windy. It's got to be said. It's quite windy.
So might say there's a tornado coming.
I am back.
Welcome back. How was the ancestral telegram?
So again, this is sort of a supernatural wind going on. And so we are all under the effects of an expeditious tailwind. Which basically means we're moving faster. We're moving way faster. But not only you, everything is moving faster. We're pretty much moving at double our walking speed until the weather changes again.
I like to think it's like low gravity where you can do like the long jump, like.
I like to think it's like Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
Running really fast.
That said, things are
I
awfully
was
windy.
actually thinking an emulator with frame skip on.
That too.
If the wind keeps up like this, we wouldn't be able to, for instance, light a fire at all.
That's fine. We don't need it. All right. So, I mean, we have 28 spaces normally, correct? I believe. Let me check the pin.
Yes. I believe that was it.
We have 24 spaces normally.
Yeah, pretty close.
So we set out
48.
Yeah.
It's not going to be quite doubled because the 24 is the entire day's worth.
Fair,
And
but
it is
like,
not likely to be.
I'll just walk us in for at spaces 2 until the weather stops. So, look, go straight along the coast, like Nick said. So in this case, I'll walk around the birds, like through the mountain.
Okay.
Actually, is
go
this
to,
an actual coast tile over here that we're living?
Is it an actual what?
Coast tile. You see these 3 up here?
Yes.
These are
Mhm.
considered- like, would this be? I mean, maybe it's all meant, but this would be around the birds.
Close enough,
Like-
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 1, 2, and then I assume we see nothing new. So
Right.
3, and then I think this is 1, so this is 3, 4. Okay. Tell us to stop, obviously. Something, but otherwise, I'm just gonna walk us.
You will literally see the next thing that there is to see.
Which is nothing.
I don't know. It is Emerald.
Correct.
She might
How many
not
spaces
see it
are
just
1,
for the
2,
sake
3,
of not
4,
seeing
5,
it.
6. So that's actually 3. Here's 4 movement. We have 20 movement now. And then 2 more. I think this is land. Otherwise, we're going out to sea.
Right on the
what's
very
that?
edge of it.
We're like walking in the surf, enjoying it, getting attacked by crabs. So 7 spaces, I believe, at this point.
And move 1 more.
7.5. Oh gosh.
Hey, there's a thing.
Is that our boat?
So from a
Is it Snippy
whiles
Shippy?
off, you're not entirely sure whether it happens to be the ship that you were on or not, but it is, the wreckage of a ship. Now,
How many pieces is it in? 1 or 2?
many. Certainly more than
Okay.
just one. While on the map, it is an intact ship. In reality, when you can see it, it is certainly not an intact ship.
Probably, I would note this probably isn't our ship, since our ship probably didn't wash up on shore. At least not in this much of a cluster. Considering
Okay.
we broke apart well at sea.
I don't think our ship was a mile long.
This looks like 2 miles long. Dudes
Rim's
are
just
really
like,
big.
man, can't do nothing nice for you guys. Can't introduce new characters or shit.
I turn around.
I mean, that's probably not our Probably.
I'm all for investigating a wreckage to see if there's any
Yeah.
money in it.
Well, maybe, but there's also probably not friendly things in there.
Is there pieces of the ship big enough that it could house people,
Almost.
like shelter?
Yes.
Well, there's shelter there at the very least, and if anything's going to have washed up anywhere around here, then chances are that'll be where they are. And frankly, I wouldn't mind finding some more repair supplies for BB.
Do you think there might be food over there?
Well, there's probably, if there's one thing here, it's probably creatures, so be alert. And at this point, Graham, if we walk into the hat, because I'm sure you're going to pull us onto a map when we do it, can we switch our walk speed to like the stealthier of the two?
You can. If you would like to, go ahead and make like stealth rolls, you can.
I mean, yeah, I would advise that we be more cautious, and maybe not necessarily like truly tiptoeing through, but like certainly heightened awareness if nothing else.
Being a rogue, I'm most certainly gonna try hide.
You
like
believe you are
covering-
hidden.
We'll not
Oh,
really
we
hide,
lost our-
but not really hide, but like be stealthy about my approach.
Yep. But so I mean, if Sharp is gonna be stealthy, Nix, would you like to also be a little stealthier in our
Out of character, like, are you asking in character or out of character?
in character? Yeah, Sharp. Would you prefer?
Well, stealth isn't really my thing. If you guys want to do the things in the background, then I'm better at keeping the attention on myself.
Oh, it's more a fact of when we investigate this. Are we going to go in expecting something to see us, or would we like to see it first?
Well, again, that's why you two stay in the background, so if anything is there, you have the upper advantage while they're distracted by BB and me.
It would probably be better that you don't be the ones first seen. I'll go with you, and then Sharper, you can sort of go along the outskirts and.
That also works, but yeah, it's the fact that she's not a sneaky type.
I mean, I'm not a sneaky person either, but we can always try.
Yeah.
I mean,
But all right, so me and like Nix are sort of slowly gonna walk up. Sharper is sort of offside stealth, but unless somebody says no, otherwise, I assume we are going to chill.
Yes.
I was sort of thinking about going up ahead, like still off to the side, but like trying to go ahead and get a scout, a little bit of a scout, just because I'm
Probably
trying to
wouldn't
be
want
really
you like
quiet.
a mile out, because then if you get attacked or ambushed or
I
something.
don't want to go that far ahead.
But sure, like if there's like a map for this Grim House or something, then you can certainly put yourself out further.
He's essentially tailing us. He's not with us, but he's
No,
following
I
us.
want you tailing me.
Yeah,
I want you tailing me. I want to go ahead because I'm trying to be quiet and I can get closer and stealthy. And
Yeah.
if I see any problems, I can signal you.
All right, Grim.
Thereby eliminating your stealth. Meanwhile, if we just walk in, then while they're focused on us and we're talking or fighting them, you come in with your sneakiness. Because you're like, oh, hey, there's a fight up there. I will keep my sneakiness.
I sneak attack the skeleton.
Okay, yes, that's a better idea. Bring in the rear.
Yeah, that's kind of like, again, also why I made Nick's house shit, so people who want to be sneaky can have that opportunity while she's essentially being the limelight and keeping the attention. She just needs to work on not being in the front lines during combat and positioning better before combat and not in the middle of it.
No, sure, good. Grim, are you actually here?
I am here.
Okay. So when we visit the ship, we're walking up to the ship now. Is there an actual map for this you have, or?
Sure is.
Yeah, we. Oh, goodness. Stealth 21.
So, yes, you can pull yourselves onto the map. Obviously, this is a rather smaller map than some of the other ones, and hopefully we should not be getting into combat, but I guess you never know. But we do see the wreckage, or a wreckage of a ship. It's very likely our ship. It is not in as whole a chunk as it looks. Some of the crew members happen to be down sort of south, working on salvaging whatever they can from the ship. We see through the trees that some sort of makeshift campsite has been put up as well.
Oh no, who knew we'd have to fight our own crew?
Would attempting to climb a tree to get a better view break stealth?
I mean, can we see that it's the crew members that we just traveled 3 weeks with?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
like, we're sitting
certainly.
pretty close. I assume we would, like, recognize them.
I mean,
More.
at this point, Shafa might still want to stay hidden, but it's less of a threat reason, more of a because no one really liked him.
Also, you know, I don't really think you're climbing a tree super stealthily.
Yeah, I probably
I mean,
won't
he's
try and
small
climb a tree. I'll just hang back and hide in a bush or something if I can find one
Pretend to be a
behind a
monkey.
rock. I dig a hole in the sand and then bury myself.
Covered himself in coconuts.
But we would, I guess, walk in and...
I mean, yeah, if I saw them, I would just sort of call for them when
Yeah.
when I know they were the crew.
Once I saw it was the crew that we'd already been traveling with and everything, it would, you know, be less worrisome and basically just walk up to them and...
Yeah.
Hi guys, so you guys made it too, I see.
So one of the crew members would approach you. Hey, look at you, more survivors.
Yeah, we washed up to the south.
I'm great to see you. His name is Penn, by the way. Not P. Whoops.
Wouldn't it be Penn State?
Exactly.
Is he a big guy?
No. It was a mistype on my part.
Mr. State, it's good to see you.
Oh, just call me Penn, please.
Is your brother Tuller around? Oh, sorry, I had to. That was terrible.
I didn't even get the reference.
Penn and Tuller.
Oh, no, see, that was Penn State, the university.
Ah, okay.
They're all named after universities, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
right, yes.
It's lost in translation a little bit, being, you know, from New Zealand.
So,
Well, I mean, you knew Harvard.
Yeah, well, I mean,
is
Harvard's-
everyone else? Is everyone else here, I guess?
I mean, no, and yes. Gosh, there's maybe about 20 of us who made it, tops.
How much crew did we have? We had like 30.
Had like 40 people.
Yeah. Well,
I see.
mean, to be fair, it's still a lot better than it could have been.
It certainly is. So, well, I guess you'll want to talk to the rest. The captain made it. So did Jonathan.
Oh, that's good. Well, what about the materials guy?
Dodrick? Yeah, he did make it.
Yeah. Where would he be?
Well, he's likely sleeping it off towards the tents. We got a campsite, really just off the beach. You can't really miss it. He points over, and sure enough, you know, while they have
It's,
taken some steps
60
to hide
feet
it,
away.
they're also sort of building a fire and all that at this point. I mean, it has been several
hard.
days.
It's hard to
It's
hide a
also-
10-person camp.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially when it's like 50 feet away from you.
Right.
Of course, you know, and I would thank Mr. State, and I'd walk on up.
Yes,
I'm
I
gonna
would
walk
too.
up by the most frustrating way possible, Grim. I'm gonna like use the arrows.
Oh. I forget. Does that show for everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody go, oh.
Except me, I don't see it. That's the most amazing part.
Oh. So at some point, Captain Teclin would see you coming up, and she would clamber to her feet. Oh! Oh! You made it! Fantastic! And she would sort of reach out to touch you, remember herself, and sort of pull her hand back. Either way, it's fantastic. How did you manage to survive? We thought we were the only ones.
Is she like? She seems quite chipper for like her skeletal self, correct? Because like last time we talked, she was,
She does.
very
Yeah,
like
she's
slow,
definitely
soft.
in a much different and better mood than she
Does
was
it-
before.
Does it still sound quite raspy and all that?
Yes,
If
but
she's a skeleton, or
my
okay.
throat's hurting me a little bit right now.
not hurting you enough, dude.
Hythrin doesn't drown, and I mean, the rest of us, I guess, just got a little lucky.
You got you got very lucky. Probably half the crew was lost there,
Indeed, we seem to have
at the very
some
least.
of-
Yes, Pen was saying.
I see that, however, you weren't quite so lucky, as you've lost several of your own too.
well, to be fair, we technically weren't a group, but
Yeah, we were kind of thrust together. We hadn't really made bonds yet. I mean,
we did seem to lose some of the other members of the like what do you even call those people who just like travel on the ship travelers? Like,
Crew.
I bet they're
you would
thinking
probably
I'm
call
dead
them
too.
crew. We're travelers or crew.
I mean, we were technically part of the crew
yeah.
because we signed on.
but we were only but only in like the temporary sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess I guess we were technically crew.
We haven't really, we didn't really do anything to cause bonding moments or anything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we did have the elf. He washed
The
ashore with
new
us,
crew.
but he disappeared.
You haven't
a
happened
night
to
or
see
two
him,
ago.
have you?
Who's that?
The elf started with a V or something. Kind of not real.
The
not as
real
hoity-toity
posh
as most
one.
ones. Yeah.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. He must not have made it.
Saves you money, I guess.
I suppose so. Still, rather it wouldn't happen. But well, we're alive. Well, you're alive. Huh.
More or less.
And she almost immediately looks rather dejected, sort of having reminded herself about her new sort of undead condition.
I mean, you are technically still a sort of alive. It's just unalive.
Really helping.
She gives you a glance to the side, and it is obvious that those were not the words that would cheer her up.
Well, I'll give her like a good, not a clap on the shoulder because maybe she'll really touch. But like I'll give her like a good hand gesture. Like it's good. It's good to see you, that you're here, Captain, and help bring the crew together and move us forward from here.
Right. Thank you. Yes. So it's been days. What happened to you lot? And
Well,
what is that? And
hold the bird. Well, yes, Saphira here. Yeah, she's-
I'll look offended for Shafira. That is our new friend Shafira. Shafira, come over, say hi. This is Teclin.
she would come over and in extremely broken common say hello. I cannot stress how bad she is at this language.
Wait, that means none of us can actually talk to Saphira anymore. I didn't really think about it.
She's picked up a couple of things, but not many.
Yeah. I can say Nashte to her.
She would nod. Go Nashte.
Nashte.
Well, what she would really do if while you're doing that, she would gesture to herself, and she would say, "Chata."
Chata, there you go. I'll point at her and say, "This is not Nashte."
You're so helpful. And she'd gesture and say, "Well, Shafira, Chata."
Yes, indeed. Chata. Not Nashte.
She gives you a look, which it is sort of difficult to perhaps translate, but she's not entirely sure if you're getting it.
I don't even.
would not over to the. Not in the direction of the two people we would never have seen before, because I assume.
Wait, time's out. So.
Oh god.
One of the
We're
things
sharper.
is we're sort of doing a little bit of retconning here. These two were on the ship at some point. We may not have had any contact with them or anything like that. They were probably busy doing their own thing. However, they were in fact on the ship.
That is what I forgot to ask earlier, was if
Right.
they were on the ship the whole time or whether we were just seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, in that case, I wouldn't be paying that much attention to them.
Were they bullying Sharper when he was in the...
I guess that's a question for them.
Well, would
Well,
they
that brings their...
would they have
Alright,
just
go.
been actual passengers, so they wouldn't have had to work? They would have just had one of the other rooms.
Possibly.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was gonna ask that. It was like some, big ship like this. I would imagine they had a doctor. Yes.
It was a pretty small ship. It did not have a doctor.
It did not really, no.
Oh, then could I have that role?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So I was the ship doctor, so I probably rarely, unless you got hurt, you rarely ever saw me.
So you would have dealt with Sharfa because he got the shit kicked out of him. You would have dealt with
no,
me
no.
because I got beaten up too.
No, I wouldn't have met the doctor, because even though I got the shit kicked out of me, everyone hated me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was after everybody.
As for me, I was just a passenger. So, yeah.
Yes, that is fine. So we may not have seen you then.
So we are going to introduce our new players and their characters now. So if you could just give a sort of a brief physical description of what you look like, probably the best sort of thing you can do. And whomever would like to go first.
Okay. So Zori is a like an adult tiefling. She's got like blue skin and like dark blue hair. And she's wearing what looks to be just like a simple cloak that has sleeves that go down about to her elbow, and they're kind of like very wide. And she's wearing pretty much just a simple bikini top and like a pair of shorts and about thigh length not thigh knee length boots, and around her neck is this kind of corded necklace that is attached to it is like this black scale that has like this almost opalescent effect to it when you look at it. And then of course she has a pouches on her side that have like various medical like symbols on them.
All right.
Nice.
I probably would not have met the doctor since the doctor can't really help me.
Not with
Fair.
that attitude. And if you would
Okay,
like to sort of give a brief description of your character.
Yeah. So, as for Kaya, she's uh, she's sort of like looks like an adult woman, tan skinned, has dark brown hair. Uh, she's her she's kind of not exactly muscular, but she looks athletic enough. Um, she's wearing like this blue shirt that has some tribal patterns in the uh, near the waist area. She's also wearing like some tight shirts and a belt uh, that's attached to a sort of like a beige kind of like uh, woven hay, uh, sort of like a pario, and her arms are completely wrapped in bandages. She's also wearing some like metal bands around her shoulders and one of her legs, her right leg, and she's also has a kind of like a teardrop, like a necklace that has the form of a drop of water that's sort of like aquamarine in color.
Okay.
So yeah.
We should probably also do a brief physical description of the old
Our
players'
other
characters
yeah.
as well. And while that happens, I'm also going to be refilling my drink, so I will be right back in 40 seconds or so.
I also want to get a drink, so I'm also going to.
Right, well, we can do it. We can take,
Taking 5.
a couple moments for
5.
a quick break,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
we'll meet right back here.
Well, I'll
All
be
right.
sticking outside. I'll be sticking outside, but I'll still have my headphones on me. Because they just go through the window.
Oi, Titra. Don't. because I thought you still needed it. Character descriptions could be just reading or just make the new place.
Anyone back?
I'm here.
Ah, yes, we're here.
All right, I exist.
I'm back.
Are we all back, or are we still waiting on anybody?
I'm still waiting on people, but I'm here. I'm just not at my computer.
Gosh.
I swear it's just like 420 just summoned Dito though.
Just summon what?
What was that?
He just summoned you. It was like, anyone back? And then both of you just showed back up.
I also had to check on my smoker. I am seasoning it today. And I'll have to do it again tomorrow because unfortunately it rained.
What kind of seasonings are you using?
Canola oil. That's it. And then,
We're
you
talking
know,
canola oil for.
I gotta season my smoker. Which, you know, you put canola oil over on the inside and then you bring it up to like 400 degrees for, you know, a couple hours.
Yeah, I thought you were meaning seasoning the meat that was in the smoker.
Negative.
I was thinking, just oil? That's going to be some bad. That's going to be a bad meal.
Oh, no.
I forgot
Oil.
I forgot that that's called seasoning it.
Mm-hmm. Also, hi, Spoonie. Thanks for joining us and watching today.
Spoonie.
As you can tell, I just looked on my phone to see who was here.
I've been ignoring them all this time.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't really ignoring you, Spoonie.
You was.
I wasn't.
You're #1 fan. Bro.
Oh, I know.
See what you did there? Because there's only one of them.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yo, you didn't have to kill him like that.
I know. I'm
I
sorry.
know, right? So are new folks back, or are we still waiting? I gather we're still waiting.
Yeah, we've kind of been playing together long enough. We know how long each other's gonna be by this point.
Yeah. Our 5-minute breaks are like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not even necessarily that. We just, we know how, like, you know, we tend to at the
Just-
same times
just look at
or
that.
round about the same times, always doing the same things.
Everybody
We don't
take
know-
a moment.
We don't know what their break consists of.
Oh yeah.
With the
Mine consisted of pouring glass and getting Oreo cookies.
Mine
I got
consisted
some
of 2 cones and a cigarette, which I'm still having.
was there a
Yeah,
giant
I-
puppet picture?
Do
What
you
was that?
mean this?
That
This is
It's
Chester.
Oh, Chester, yeah.
Chester! Oh, he's so good.
It's horrific.
We should tell the story. We should tell the story of Chester. So when we were in the village of like the tribe people and all that, the natives, if you will, we were putting on Nix was putting on a play, and we, she was like, well, sometimes I gotta like dress Chester up for the part because there's only one person, it's just me, so like Chester and BB. So they gotta get in the play as well. So we put Chester in a nice damsel in distress outfit because Chester doesn't have an icon. So we now have Chester's icon.
Chester
He's
didn't have an icon, yeah, and Chester doesn't have combat stats. It's literally just a moving chest. It's like a chest with 4 spider legs, and it just crawls around, and it just holds my supplies and everything.
just the chest, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a moving chest that I spent a ridiculous amount of gold on, so Grim has been really nice and dousmarking it to me.
I
to
didn't
be
want to
able
say
to keep
no
it.
after you spent like all his money on it.
Yeah. I spent basically my entire adventuring starting gold on doing up Chester, but I mean, he's locked, he's trapped, and he carries my stuff around and lets me move with my pitiful strength. Because or else I wouldn't be able to carry half of the supplies
Okay,
I need
yeah.
for my class.
If I ever die, I want to play Chester.
That'd be
Have
great.
Chester become an adventurer.
Mhm.
Give Chester a class and have him have stats.
Poor
Bar.
BB. BB's the one who actually gets beaten up and, does damage and stuff, and you guys are just
Chester
like,
becomes the
Chester!
paladin of Nick.
Chester takes levels in Mimic.
Just gets awakened and turns into a Dark Souls mimic. Just gains really long legs.
That'd be great.
Are we all back? Are we still waiting on?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I believe is when is it Kyo?
Yeah, I think it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I did want to say that I have been slowly moving forward in the bush, so if anyone was paying like a really
I
good
was-
amount of attention, because I am pretty hidden, but if they were paying a really good amount of attention, they might see me.
I was gonna ask, is Sharfer actually gonna come out of the bush now that we know they're all friendly?
Yeah, like, they weren't fond of him, but I don't think they're gonna, like, instantaneously start flaying your skin in the middle of the camp for some shit that happened a week ago.
Sharfer, get the pitchforks out.
It's Sharper. Let's get that jerk. He's still
What did
from
we
us.
teach you the last?
How many times do we have to tell you?
You
I
didn't learn
rock
your
up
lesson
and
the
then
first
everyone's
time,
just
old
like,
man.
alright, Heidi coins.
When Sharper walks out of the bush. All right, everyone, roll for initiative.
Never thought I'd see you alive.
Plot twist, Sharper survived, the other guy didn't.
Oh.
So, how's
could-
that dickhole, guys? How's he helping your survival?
Did he have a name? I forget.
Who? Our name.
I'm pretty sure it was a lame name because it wasn't a university name. Because
You're right. He did not survive.
Yeah, it was like Steven or something like that.
It was something strange.
Fucking Steven. Fuck Steven. He's an asshole. Everyone hates Steven.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but
No, he had a few friends.
Yeah,
I
his
will
friends
be
were
away from
dickheads.
my mic for about 20 seconds.
What is the D&D equivalent to an Oreo cookie?
A cookie?
No, I don't want a cookie. I want an Oreo cookie.
Hmm.
A cookie sandwich? Sandwich cookie?
Could be.
Christian knows nothing but a bunch of sandwich cookies. What is like a nondescript name for an Oreo?
You definitely call it a sandwich cookie.
A sandwich cookie, really?
Yeah. Because there is like a whole lot more than just Oreos that are cookies that like that. Like you got Monte Carlos, you got Kingstons. There's that just type of cookie is just called a sandwich cookie.
Here, we're gonna go ahead and name some people.
Sandwich cookies?
No, we're naming our buddies.
That one we call one
So just for us New Zealand folks, since you're naming them all after universities,
You also need to give us the states they're from. So where's Duke?
I was just gonna say you're gonna need to call one Massey because that's our university.
Yeah.
what? Massey?
Massey.
Like the Loch Ness monster?
It's called Massey.
M-A-S-S-E-Y.
Give it to me one more time. Oh gosh.
Oh, without the W.
Massey.
Massey.
Like the water company?
No, it's just.
I mean, I'm not sure if you'd get the reference either, but like Massey Ferguson.
Is it actually named after Massey Ferguson's?
It very well could be, you know.
Oh, better not be.
I'm so glad Thoma made it. Oh, it's Massey.
Oh my gosh, his name is Tom.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Thom.
I'm gonna call it the Thom. Be like, Thom, it's good to see you.
He pointedly
never
looks
seen it.
around
Oh.
as if you could possibly be talking to someone else.
Big smile, walk up, slap him on the shoulder. Thommy, old mate.
Remember all the good times we had on this ship together?
You remember the dope times?
So Massey Ferguson was founded 1847 and Massey University was founded 1927. So it very well could be.
New Zealand's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins? Yeah.
There's a like a I think I don't know if it's like Tumblr or Twitter, but besides the point, it was like maps without New Zealand. I always think about that when someone says New Zealand. There's like a blog, and their whole thing was that they just found pictures of like maps that people would make for whatever reason that just didn't include New Zealand. They would just not include it. They're like it's not important enough to add.
You have to name one that.
I think his name was my name too.
If you look up maps without New Zealand, it's like the first thing that comes up.
Ugh.
Like yeah, I'll post it in the.
Have you ever seen an accurate map without America in the middle?
I'll post it to see the Vodari. See, look, it's a map without New Zealand.
Wait. Does America's map actually put them at the center of the globe?
Yeah, yes.
No.
Does it actually, you guys? I'm asking the
No, we
Americans.
put it on the left. We use
Okay,
the
good.
standard.
Good.
Like it depends. If you're
I
just,
was gonna say you guys have gone too goddamn far.
I mean, like it
I'm pretty sure
depends.
they
If
thought
it's
that
a
would,
map
though.
of like
It honestly
North
depends which map
America.
you're looking at.
I know, but the reason the main and best one puts Africa in the middle is because you have the giant oceans on either side of it, separating the map into the three main land
No,
masses.
there's only
and
one
two
ocean
oceans.
separating the sides. The other ocean's in the middle.
Oh yeah.
It basically it excludes, you know, the hemisphere that's mostly water by just cutting.
Yeah.
Somebody want to give Kyo a ping?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh my gosh,
you're
have we been waiting for you and you're here?
I got confused because I heard when did you get back, and then all of a sudden everything went dark, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like,
Okay.
and then I saw stuff going on. I was like, wait a minute, did I disconnect somehow?
If you said something, we certainly didn't hear you.
Yeah,
until
we
just
didn't hear it till just then.
Okay,
United
yeah, okay.
Nations
Oh,
does not include New Zealand.
But either way, back to it. So let us go ahead and from the original group, let's get some brief character descriptions. If anyone would like to start first, they may. Otherwise, I'll pick on you.
Like Chester to go
like
first.
we're in middle school.
yeah, I'll do it first because I've got the most to explain. We have Chester, who is here. Chester is just a chest that most of the time that we were on the ship, he would have just been down in the cargo hold, where Nyx would have been sleeping and everything. But anytime that he's moving around or we are moving around, she controls with one of her ethereal threads, and basically 4 spider legs come off it and just move it around. It's a moving chest. There's nothing too special. It has a big, very fancy, intricate lock on it, and if you were part of the dreamscape, you would have seen that it is trapped as well. But if you paid close attention during all the times Nyx opens and closes it, it's very apparent that she's usually doing something other than just unlocking it. BB is a wooden puppet bear. It fires what seems to be some form of cannon or pistol out of its mouth, and again she also seems to control it from a distance just by twitching her fingers and controlling it as if it was a marionette puppet connected by strings, which you never see. She spends most of her downtime usually working on that or other contraptions. Nyx herself is a changeling, and it's very apparent that she's a changeling because unlike most who you have to be well trusted to find out that they're actually a changeling, she walks around in her natural form basically all of the time and only really transforms for jokes or making points and statements or for parts of her plays and performances. She wears pretty basic clothes. She doesn't really have much more in ways of armor than just a leather vest, and I mean, her picture is basically her. I found a good representation of it. And that's Nyx, really.
I like it.
Nyx, BB, and Chester, anyway.
Chester's my favorite.
I like Chester. Yeah.
We love you.
Again, so we can see Chester just one last time.
So good.
Chester.
Who next?
I'll go since Sharper's sitting in a bush and no one can see him. So of course, you know, I'm playing Tythrin. Tythrin is a Warforged. And we recently found out I'm not actually using like the base 5e Warforged. I'm actually using a different one, but you know, it's mostly just minor differences. But as far as like looks goes, I have a beautiful icon because I didn't pick one earlier and Grim found this one for me and it's amazing. But it's not entirely accurate of like what I usually use as my in-character description. Though, side note, sorry to go on a tangent in the middle of this. Grim, remind me next time when we go to like an actual town, I want to buy some fancy clothes.
Okay.
So I can look the part.
Of course.
Like a feathered cap and all that stuff.
I'll be sure to remember that.
But you look like the Bard Warforged.
I know. Oh,
Make sure you
but
eat
yeah,
an apple.
no, everyone think I'm such an asshole.
They're going to take a picture of yourself like that. Someone has to make an image of you.
I know. But yeah, so Tythrin is mostly more of like a dullish plating. With like you have instead of like like you can't see with this picture, but they have like more of like a wooden fiber-esque like supports for muscles and all that. But he does have a more bright coppery outer edges of metal around most of his plating. Currently, he's wearing chainmail and equips himself with a harpoon and flail around his waist. But other than that, he mostly just carries the stuff and not one to super like stand out in a crowd yet until I get my fancy clothing. But other than the fact he has a low punch, he's not like super big or super heavy or anything. He's in the 6 foot range. I don't have the exact height here. 6'5" is what I currently have him written as. But and quite bulky and heavy, but nothing like to the point where he steps on a bridge and it just explodes. So yeah, that's Tyson.
All right, and last but not least, but hiding in a bush currently.
I mean, I am in the
right.
bush, but I'll probably eventually come out and you'll see me. But Shaffer he's about 3 foot tall. Let's not be honest. He's about 2 apples tall. Small as a Smurf. Quite scarred in the face. Been in a lot of fights. They wear a lot of very brightly coloured clothing, but it doesn't seem to affect them sneaking that often. If you were paying attention to their weapon, it wouldn't look very fancy or anything. It would just be your stock standard rapier, probably even stolen off a blacksmith.
The price tag.
At a first glance, they would look trustworthy, but you'd see them acting shady quite a lot. They're not. Yeah, I'm not sure what much else.
Sure.
There's nothing really fancy about them. They're just a beaten up halfling.
All right. So after, obviously, no introductions or anything happened, in character, but after sort of the initial meeting up with Captain Tecklin, she turns to you. You must be starving. Come. We've been.
Indeed.
What's that?
I say indeed.
Well, she looks you up and down. Perhaps not you, but the rest of you. We've been eating crabs and...
The rest of you, but it's just me and Nix.
And Shapira.
Because Shapira is in a bush, remember?
Shapira is in a bush, I did forget.
I said Shapira.
Yeah, what about Shapira? There's
So
bears
as
there.
she
Right
begins
now.
to say, she's been eating mostly crabs and birds.
Oh, don't eat Shafira, please. She's a bit
She's
different
not a
to
bird,
other
don't worry.
Birds, yeah, and she doesn't even see herself as a bird. Maybe don't give her bird meat, though, especially as we can't tell her that it's that. She might get offended in one way or another later on.
I mean,
Some form
birds
of-
eat
Even
birds all
if she
the
doesn't...
time.
Yes, but she sees herself as a bit more civilized.
Maybe.
Perhaps. Certainly civilized enough not to make a cannibal of her, hopefully.
We have some meats as well ourselves. Although it's not quite as good as cooked crab, I would imagine.
Yes, but no. Come, sit around the fire. Tell us what happened when the last we saw you. And
Sure, I go to the fire,
sort
I
of
sit around,
make
and
way.
I just go over all the events of us landing at the beach. We woke up, cave, go to the village. I'll be like, there's a village over there. I'll describe the people. I'll describe that no one can really understand them anymore because the only guy who could translate them disappeared. And then, of course, Varial disappearing and then us being here. Just running all down Tecklin. During the whole time, does Sharper ever appear? It would probably take a good 10, 15 minutes.
Would I be able to see that that's Dodric like clearly from over here, or am I?
No, Dodric would be in the tent.
Okay. Well then,
Somebody don't.
I'm just slowly getting closer.
But you gotta get shot or something.
And, like until I see someone that I actually know, and then I'd yell out to them and be like, "Hey, I heard some sort of a commotion going on over here. I'm glad I found more survivors."
Just so Sharper doesn't get shot, I would just whisper to Techlid and say that Sharper is around, but he's not with us at the moment.
Sharfer,
I would. The halfling.
the little one that everyone hates.
I don't
Well,
think Techlin's
yeah.
ever met him though.
Wait, would I have heard that?
Probably
Well,
not.
even
Nix
if-
was
even
probably
if she hasn't-
talking to Teclin as an aside, and Teclin
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
responded in kind.
Yeah.
Okay, because if I heard that, I wouldn't be getting out of the bush.
Yeah, I know you're not well liked, so I would definitely say it to her on the side, because again, yeah, she didn't really interact with you. She was already
Well, they
in the
actually have
build by that point.
told her about Tech or the Sharper because she never met Sharp.
Presumably.
I mean, apparently, because she knows
I mean, he's
that
important
everyone
enough
around here
that-
hates.
He's important enough that everyone's like, there was this one dude and we all hated him. I'm so glad he drowned on the ship.
And is that like?
He got what
What
he's
she's-
deserved. Well, Teclin would
can
not
I-
necessarily say that herself. She did sort of mention that everybody kind of hates Sharper.
Can I try and incite the group to see if there is a general hate for me still?
Sure.
I think it's common knowledge.
I mean, so if you spend a while, you know, Sharper's, your name didn't really get mentioned, but
Yeah, I did notice that I hadn't been talked about, but I had been trying to sit around and sort of listen. I don't know what I'd be able to pick out.
man, honestly, you know, you would have no idea. I mean, you know, fact of the matter is, they're not talking about you, and there's no, gee, I'm sure glad Sharper's dead.
Yeah.
I would put some crab, if I was able to steal some, on top of Chester, along with some extra frog meat, and send him to go sit down that way.
Do we know where we would know where Sharper is though, do we?
Well, no, but I'd know that he came in around this area up here
I
and
guess.
everything.
I mean,
So
if
it
you
would just
if you
be-
put him over here, because that's where I sort of was, I'd probably see
I'm
him walk
inside him.
past.
Yeah, I figure you would also go, you know, check out Chester, who has food and stuff on top of him. I don't
I'm
think I'd have
inside
time
him,
to
and we can
ration
like we
short
can
night.
shuffle you back in.
I do not believe there
Chester
would be
big enough?
room inside Chester for Sharper.
It's a chest.
No.
though. I mean,
No, there is not.
He's not an
Oh.
empty chest.
Yeah, if Chester was empty, he would be able to, but
I
he's
mean,
got like
how much
a
stuff
good
do you have in there?
Quick, dump everything out.
a lot. I've got 10 bags of ball bearings, 2 bags of caltrops, 1,000 pieces of chalk, rope,
Oh
4
my
honey
God.
traps, my costumes, and repair supplies for the puppets.
That's a lot of stuff.
Can't do my stuff.
Yeah, well, you can like half hide inside Chester. Chester can come back like eating him, like he can be hanging out like oh. It look like Chester like found him, and, like saved his life. We can like pull a play. Be like, oh my God, Sharper, we found you drowning. Chester saved him. Somebody get a doctor.
But yes, if you took the meat, Shafa, I would lose one of my progressions.
You like sense
I would take the crab, but I wouldn't take the frog
Oh,
because I
Can you
got
like
frog on
sense
my
through
own.
Chester and all that?
what was that?
Like, are you able to like sense through Chester?
Yes, I believe so. Just let me double check. Yes, you can sense what it senses.
Hmm. About the chest, does it actually sense anything?
No.
So you can't sense through Chester, or you can only sense things he like touches, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be touches with Chester. With BB,
Yeah.
he's actually got shaped ears and eyes. I mean, they're
Yeah.
things I could add on with the supplies and time and money.
And just give
But I
Chester a
wasn't-
pair of eyes.
Yeah, I wasn't going to spend another, like, 50 gold piece per eyes for optical lenses and stuff like that.
You give him a mouth.
I mean, his mouth is just his chest opening and closing.
But he can talk. Let him talk to us.
That'd be funny.
You can just like slowly turn into Chester. That could be the thing. You just like give Chester like he will become like a mech suit.
That was one of the ideas for BB, not Chester.
But Chester's got charisma bonus.
The featureless chess.
Yep. But you know, Grim, we're sitting around the fire, we're talking. I mean, surely we is there anything else that like happens? Anyone coming up? What about the our two people over here?
As you mentioned what you've been doing, Kaya would commented. So, you've been around the island. Anything interesting you find us beside the natives?
Well, the natives
Bird-
were certainly the most interesting part by
Birds to
far.
the north, and apparently they're pretty bitey this time of year.
Mighty. Indeed, I don't quite know if there's any reason for us to really disturb the birds. There didn't seem to be anything over there. It was just a mountain.
Okay.
Someone
Nothing more than a
would
rocky
sort of
outcrop.
speak up at that point and ask if she talks common, alluding to Shafira.
I have no clue. I don't think so. I haven't heard her say much common.
We've
I would believe not.
Sort of already disturbed the birds.
How so?
He sort of gestures down to
I
his plate.
I see. Well, I mean, the locals would probably quite disapprove, but otherwise, I don't quite know their significance of this island.
I'm going to actually try and speak a couple of words in Primordial and then Sylvan to see if Shafira understands.
Okay.
If she doesn't answer anything, then I just leave it at that.
She does not.
Then yeah.
But wait, we've got someone who speaks Primordial as well.
Primordial?
That's great. Because both me and Shafa speak deep speech.
Why?
And you speak... So we can all just walk around speaking all the demonic languages that no one else can even pronounce, let alone understand.
Yeah. How do you even speak deep speech, though? I've always wondered.
What was that?
How do you even speak deep speech?
Deep speech is the Call of Cthulhu language.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has.
How do you even speak it?
It has like some verbal cues. I don't believe there's a written aspect.
No. It's kind of like, trying to just, I guess, onomatopoeia it into your language.
I mean, I think some.
Wait, so
of
if
it
I can speak deep speech, would I be actually able to say the ugly one's name?
I don't know if it even speaks deep speech.
Not
Yeah, I
sure.
don't-
You don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was Abyssal, wasn't he?
I
We have
don't
no clue.
believe we ever tried actually talking to her in a different
Like-
language.
We didn't see it speak another language, as far as we know, anyways. And we haven't
It-
tried to talk to another language, so it speaks common. So we've always just talked to it in common.
I've
yeah,
only
sure.
just thought about speaking to it in deep speech.
But
could
like,
try.
how are all the people reacting to it now that we're on the island? Like, do they do still not look at it.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything,
actually a good question. Did we actually even notice that, the ugly one's sort of sitting down here in
You
the
likely would
water?
not have noticed at the time, as she was much deeper and further into the ocean. But at some time, she does begin to come forward, and she addresses you. Oh, you're alive! How
Dude, that's
wonderful!
not there for.
What's that?
I'm ready to do it.
you exist now? And I
Well,
kind of like look at Keklin as much as her.
I always existed. I'm just a bit more free about it.
Oh
Free,
well,
what exactly do you mean by that?
Well,
I don't think it minds us looking at it now.
well, C for one, thank you very much. And secondly, circumstances have changed. Most of the ladies' bodyguards are drowned. There's just me left.
See, what were you with your companions for? Like, what was their relationship? Is basically what I'm asking.
We were companions.
Oh,
We weren't romantically linked, if that's what you're suggesting.
Of course not.
Oh.
Of course, you're quite the looker. I wouldn't say that.
Make a deception roll.
Ugh.
You're beautiful.
Captain Teklin would speak up at some point, but you mentioned you found natives.
Indeed. What part of the island? We're on like the western coast, so I would say straight east from here. There's a native encampment. I mean, surely you guys have seen them at this point, correct? It's been a few days.
We haven't. We've been mostly staying here on the east side, trying to salvage what we can. It's been quite the work. Odds and ends have been washing to shore, well, quite frequently.
I see. Well,
We did send a small group towards the center, or presumably towards the east, but they haven't returned by now, so perhaps they'll be getting there sometime.
Possibly not. The village did say something about some druids or something out that way. We were warned to stay away from the center of the island.
we also learned to stay away from birds, and
I see.
we
To
didn't.
be fair, we were warned to stay basically away from any part of the island. They seem kind of dicks about it.
What about
Yeah,
that
so the natives.
sunken temple down to the south?
That's
It
the
belongs
temple
to
to
them.
their god, I think.
Yes,
Right.
And then I'd
The
say
big thing that sunk the ship.
Oh.
boat-
Oh! Those things worship something like that? Those people?
I think it's more of
Kabuka.
a fear worship than a love worship, but yeah, more or less.
Interesting. So, what you're telling me is that somewhere here on this island, relatively close enough, is
travel.
something large enough to sink our entire ship effortlessly?
I mean, did it not already sink it effortlessly?
It did. That's why I know it can effortlessly sink a ship.
Then yeah, I mean that's the best.
We
of
don't
what
know
we
if it
gathered
truly
from it.
resides there, but that's what they say.
That's their temple to it, at least. I'm not sure if they said it stays there. It might. They know it stays at least around the island.
I see. Well, to be completely honest with you, I don't really relish the idea of even possibly staying next to that thing.
I mean, where are you gonna go? Here's as good a spot as any.
Well, if there's a location of natives, certainly, we could head there.
I mean, I'd never said they were receptive or even, willing to take on people. When I say natives, I don't mean, a village or like a city, a dock.
What do you
you know.
mean?
It's a village.
A native
primitive.
tribes, a very primitive people who, a primitive, superstitious group who, know very little of the outside world.
I don't think they even know very much about metallurgy. They're kind of still at the sticks and rocks and leather tent stage by the looks of
Flint
things.
napping, bone craftsmanship.
I see.
And even if you were to go, none of them speak common. The language
They're all
unknown.
warriors, though.
I see.
Combat is very big for them. And yeah,
While not openly hostile, I would highly advise you stay away in general. At least anything outside. Maybe an envoy at best. There is a druid there.
How much of this island have you explored?
Just the
Well,
coast?
we haven't finished the coastal run yet. We haven't run into the cave we started at, but a good sizable amount by how much we would guess.
I've been keeping a map this time, I assume, Grim, since, navigation. That's why I would like to show her the druid.
And how
If,
big is it?
rough.
You know,
Could I estimate at this point?
I mean,
days around?
you could make an estimate that it's probably 30 miles.
30 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
triangle.
Mhm.
That's
It'll take about maybe 30 miles at best.
might be a problem then if we're stuck on this island with some not very friendly natives. We're gonna be here a while. We don't have a ship.
That might be the bigger problem than being here with the natives. It's just that there seems, as far as we know, not be any real way off of here.
You broke up a little
Hey,
bit.
good.
What was that?
So there's no real way off of here.
Yes.
I have a question though. Because I know our general location
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Like, I don't know if you can like look at your map without switching us all over to it. But do you have a rough idea of how far away we are from the nearest mainland?
Sure. One moment.
And while Tythrin's looking over a map and doing the calculations, or his map, looking over the calculations, I would tell Declan and I guess everybody about how the big thing apparently will destroy like any ship larger than a wave rider or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to be a problem because.
Yes, that's the
Tyclin, you would know you're probably about 200 miles
so
from
like,
Aubrey.
that's the thing. We can't make a ship big enough to travel roughly 200 miles, but the only craft that can get out of here, well, it would never even make
Do we
fraction
still
that journey.
have that captive mage?
Do we? Because we don't.
No, we haven't seen her
seem-
anywhere.
They seemed quite powerful. Maybe if we could, I mean, I'm a bit against treating her the same way they did, but maybe we could, if we find her, recruit her into helping us maybe conceal the ship like they did.
Maybe. We haven't found her body washed ashore, at the very least.
Oh,
I mean,
that's-
she was hardly conscious when I even woke
That's
her
wasn't-
up. Don't
I'm pretty
know-
sure she was like. You managed
Like, I
to get her up
fired her.
and everything.
But like, I mean, she hadn't eaten in like days, so I feel like the general chance of her surviving are probably not very.
I mean, it's just an idea. In case we happen to stumble upon her, maybe tell the guys not to, instantly clap her in irons or kill her. She
Maybe we
could
can find,
be
like, a
more of an asset
A
than a
wand of a
liability.
wish just like laying around, Griff.
Well, I don't think
Take
we're necessarily in any position to start just clapping people in irons, especially if there's some less than hospitable natives around.
Oh, I'm just saying, we rescued her just to clap her back in irons on our own ship.
Well, more we didn't.
We not exactly. I mean, sure, she was kept under guard and whatnot, but it was hard to determine whether she was a friend or a foe.
I don't think she was their friend, considering she was
I would
tied
agree
to the
with
front of their ship.
It doesn't
You know,
necessarily
we
mean
didn't
she was ours either.
Enemy of my enemy is not my friend necessarily.
Exactly.
We must think differently then.
But didn't even give her a chance.
Well, no, and again, if
She
we
was
come
out
into
the whole
contact her, we'll certainly, attempt to open a dialogue, but, as
That's all- all
Tythrin
I want
mentions,
to
likely
remind
she's
people.
at the bottom of the sea.
Well,
It'd be kind of sad if she was after Tythrin put all that effort into saving her.
No,
Or was
I
it
tried
Barrier?
to save her.
Tried so hard.
they were. Well, the Warforged and his companions did survive, so maybe she could have been lucky.
That's true.
I think the person who
Accusers
could
tend to be very
turn in
resilient sometimes.
I think the person who could turn an entire ship invisible has quite a high chance of surviving a lot of different kinds of encounters.
I suppose you
uh,
aren't wrong,
yeah.
but
Encounter like
not to seem pessimistic, though, but I don't think that this hoping on this person needs to be our plan. I don't think we should put too much faith in that.
By no means am I putting any actual hope in her. I mean, we may find her and she may just be really angry in general and not like anyone. I'm just saying that it's a possible asset to keep in mind for the future.
I like to point out that Sharper's like 10 feet away. from,
Who
like,
is
the-
that
the-
jerk right there?
So have they seen Sharper at this point? Is Sharper here with us?
Does anyone have a better passive perception than 21?
Yeah,
I mean, no,
that-
nobody would have it like that.
No. You'd need a servant probably and a lot of stuff for that, but no.
So, here's where we stand now. And this would be Jonathan sort of speaking up.
Oh, that's good to see you. I'd say that. At some
Good to
point.
see you as well. Glad you
Okay.
made it, although I suppose that's less of a concern for you and more for your friend. Either way, it's good to see you both.
Nix would kind of give a big grin at that.
The fact of the matter, and to be real, Dodric believes he can construct some sort of ship. But this is a thing that's going to take time. Quite a bit of time. We've been busy salvaging what we can off of the old ship. But we haven't really ventured further in. As we mentioned before, the small party that we sent to the east Well, we haven't heard anything from them for about 2 or 3 days now, which is obviously a bit concerning. Now these the existence of these natives that are less than friendly certainly is a concern as well. One of the several things I suppose we should be doing is making some sort of contact with these natives. We have to. It'll happen sooner or later. Better that it happens now.
Speak Druidic? Because I don't think I ever said like they speak Druidic. So does anyone here actually speak Druidic? I would say that like in character.
I do not, but I do have a way to understand every language.
That's good enough.
Unfortunately, I would not be able to talk back to them, but I could understand them.
That's
I see.
less ideal.
That's a start.
It's a start for sure.
Yes.
Certainly
The
a
problem
step in the
is
right
they
direction.
only speak Druidic, and they know nothing of common.
Yes, that does raise quite a problem.
I mean, does anyone else speak Druidic in this group? Maybe like Thom or somebody. He's
Like
yeah,
the rest of the people do not.
in high school.
I speak the universal language of interpretive dance.
The ugly one's not a druid.
Funnily enough, Tom's the only one who actually didn't go to college.
No.
Some state.
We well, I would say that maybe we should consider checking the druid out. They say there's a druid in the center of the island. I mean, druids tend to speak Druidic naturally. However, it might be dangerous for just 3 of us. I would say 3, even though like Sharper is hiding in a bush. To go, I don't know if.
They presume you're referencing Strafira.
I see. I would say 3, but I wouldn't specify Sharp. But we would probably need some other people to go with us in the event that it is dangerous.
You're right.
Well, I'd be willing to go on an adventure.
Any volunteers? The 2 new players are like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
Captain,
I'd be
I would
willing
like
to
to
go.
volunteer to go with them. I'm pretty much useless here since there's not a lot of medical attention going on, and if they're going to be out journeying, they might need my aid.
That sounds good. Yes. You'll understand why we don't want to spare too many more to go with you, though. You understand. If there's so many others around, well...
Maybe just 1 more?
Yeah,
Just to
let's
round
say-
up numbers?
yeah. I'd say I'm fairly capable. I can, if things get rough, I can handle myself.
If only we had a halfling
All
with
right.
us right now.
The 2 of you, then. You're with them. The rest of us, I think... if that thing is living down there just to our south, well, we're going to be heading to the north. I can tell you that much.
I think here might be the best
like
place
it.
to camp. To the north, there's the birds, which will pester you if nothing else. To the east is the natives, and surely they would not be quite inclined to have you living with them. More likely than not, obviously. I cannot truly speak for their intents. And to the south is the temple, which, well, we know nothing about. Here seems to be a pretty good spot.
Thank you for your suggestion and your concerns, but we will be moving somewhat towards the north.
I mean, I don't think that thing can come on land, and if it could, surely nowhere is safe.
To be fair, I agree. We've been fine staying here so far.
That's
So,
true, but I'd still
nothing
rather
should
put as
change.
much in between it and us as possible. Perhaps not as much. We won't, I suppose, encroach too far towards the natives' territory.
We can, we will. How about we check the temple after we visited the druid? Assuming the druid's there in the first place. If there is indeed the creature there, we can warn you guys and we can move. Otherwise, we can wait here because certainly a few days will not hurt at the very least.
I suppose so, but I should warn you, it is filled to the brim with beasts, even when it's not flooded.
You've been to the temple?
Well, yes, we did explore down to the south. I thought I'd have mentioned, but perhaps not. While we did not see anything remotely the size of whatever it was that destroyed the ship, as I mentioned, it is rather filled with beasts. The party went only a little ways in, as it was mostly flooded as well, and then came back, but they brought back reports of large frogs, toads, quippers, sharks even.
Well, I don't think the sharks will be too much of a threat to us on land. But we will go check the village. If we're not back in 3 to 4 days, then you're free to do as you see fit.
Village or grove?
This place, whatever we're at. Okay.
No, I was meaning,
She would
are we
stand
going
up.
to check out the village or grove?
Oh, from the temple. Like we would check the temple.
Captain Tecklin would stand up at that. I'm free to do what I wish.
Okay, well, of course, when I say that, I don't imply that she has to do it. Like, I was going to specify. Yeah, like, she's obviously, like, she can do whatever, but, like, as far as, like, an agreement goes, or whatever. Like, as the scouting party, we'll go check. And then if we're not back in, like, 3 or 4 days, then, assume that it is too dangerous to be died. That's what I'm saying. Like that absolutely.
All right.
It's not.
Well, the best of luck to you. How are you on supplies? Powder, things like that. We don't have much, but we did manage to salvage some. That certainly appears to be intact.
I could use a little bit more powder. I've got enough shot. And if you have any wood and metal scraps that you don't desperately need, I could certainly take a couple of them.
I'm good on supplies, so...
We can spend some, but we're not quite sure what'll be useful to us right now.
I'll just look around, and anything that isn't going to be necessary for shipbuilding and that is small enough for me to take, I'll just sneak off with.
Sure. If you are really hurting for just scrap, some still is washing up from time to time.
That's a vast majority of what I use, yes, but some more things like fasteners and hinges I need as well.
Somewhat in short supply, as you can probably imagine.
Yes. And I'd spend 20 minutes, half an hour looking around for, if you want perception or survival or...
Give me an investigation.
Oh man, my bad stat, which I still rolled decent on.
Yeah, you find...
Just give me HP worth of materials.
Sure, you probably find about 20 HP worth.
Sweet, and that would top up my healing stacks.
Mhm.
And I only need 6 charges of powder if they've got it.
They would probably, as a group, be able to, or would be willing to spend 10 and 10. 10 of powder, 10 of shot.
I've got plenty of shot and powder.
I don't need the shot or the powder, so.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
I'll
if
take-
people would like to take it, they can write it down. If they do not wish to take it, you don't gotta
No,
write it
leave it
down.
with the.
Or do you need anything, Shafa?
I say that out loud.
Not really, but there's no way you would be able to know.
Well, oh yeah, true. Sorry, I'll take 6 and 6 of each.
Okay.
So I'm completely stocked up again. And I would thank people greatly, and probably even offer them some meat if they're running low on foods and stuff. They've got a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like, how are they doing for food here?
They're doing fine.
I mean, like
As
there's
you
the
sort of
ocean and
look
everything.
around, there's lots of crab shells and some rather obvious bones of birds around that people are sort of standing in front of nonchalantly.
So it's pretty obvious that, like, they're all pretty well fed and not need to worry about food so much.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Well, I wouldn't give them frog meat then, because it saves us hunting on a day-to-day
Oh,
trip
frog
for now.
meat.
Mm-hmm.
Mwahaha.
And I'd look at Tythrin and Shafira and the 2 new ones and be like, well, should we go? We've still got at least a few hours of daylight left.
I mean, we have most of the day. I believe we only took 8 steps out of like 24, basically.
I said at least.
Maybe shave off like an extra step to say 9, just of us being here, 9, 10. But we still have like 14 at the very least.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
mean, if
indeed.
there's nothing else we need or anything, then yes, we can.
I'm obviously just going to sneak out behind them and rejoin the group.
As you do.
Okay.
Yeah, and as we're walking, I just look at him. Oh, before I forget, I didn't introduce myself. Really, my name's Kaya, and I offer
Thanks.
my hand.
I'd shake it. Give it. I'd be like, it's good to meet you. I'm Type. And of course, I assume we may have sort of like passed by each other's ship occasionally, so
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like,
You
oh yeah.
probably
I knew
Saw my
from-
performances at some point.
Yeah, like I've seen you.
Well, I'm Nix, and this is BB and Chester. And she'd point at each of the puppets in turn and make them do a bow, or as close to a bow as a chest can do.
Okay.
Would this be
Yeah.
sort of happening like a decent away from where everyone
Sure,
is?
sure. You're here as well, Sharper.
Yes.
We all hate you.
Because
Now Sharper
I
can be like, and I'm Sharper.
I sort of want to just pop out of nowhere and be like, and I'm Shafa.
Yeah, fuck
So-
you, Sharper.
And as well, Sharfer has a few claims to fame amongst the crew. Number one of
Yeah.
which, most of the people believe that he was attempting to steal from something that should have been normally shared out before people were sharing it out. His second claim to fame is that while on punishment, one of the things he was supposed to do was cook. And so he cooked an epically terrible meal consisting of
Salted
apples and salt.
It was just so.
Period.
Apples.
A family recipe.
It was a family recipe that no one else seemed to enjoy for some reason. It's a halfling recipe. You plebeians wouldn't understand.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you might have your opinions
As
about
soon
me,
as
but
you-
I'm here.
Yeah, as soon as what was the name again?
Sharper.
Sharper pops out. You see Kaya kind of like stands guard and looks at Sharper.
Please,
In
please
all
don't hurt
fairness,
my meal
in all
ticket, Ridley.
fairness, I was not stealing off the crew at all. The,
Oh,
the, the amount that I was trying to steal would have only come out of the pocket of the captain.
Also, I'm trying to steal from the captain.
Dude. Oh, it's just you.
He's
That's fine.
He's a,
I thought you were someone else.
he's a thief, just not a very good one.
The record, I thought his salted apples tasted, just fine.
As long as he doesn't steal from me, it's fine.
Keep in mind, I can't actually taste anything. So.
Yeah, well, you've proven my point, so you get the thank you.
But where would we want to hit? Would we... Hey, we want to go into the grove there.
Yeah, we said we would hit the grove first. Does that want to be what our plan is? Hit the grove first?
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds good.
All right. I will set us in a straight line to about the middle of the island, then basically. So, Grib, do I need to do a weather roll? Do we still have the super wind at our back?
We still have the wind at our backs for a little while.
Okay, so I'm going to move 2 at a time then.
Okay.
Okay. Boom. So, of course, tell me if I need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm green ping now because 2 other people are also using pink. So,
Uh-huh.
if I was all using pink, I figured I'd use something different now.
Fine.
1.
I'm pretty sure it just gives it to you randomly.
You can change
you-
it.
You can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, if you click the color, you can pick whatever, like full
Ah.
hex value and everything.
Let's give you a
Ah.
color that's going to be
I
your
recommend
default.
probably not black
Yeah,
because black
black's
doesn't
kind of
like show
hard
up
to
on.
see on all the shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
I found that out in my other game.
Right, 1, 2.
So around about this point, as we've been traveling for a while, sort of the things that we've seen before that just probably bear worth repeating again, especially for our newer folks, is that this forest is basically filled with birds of varying breeds and types, and the ground is pretty much littered with feathers, all sorts of different shapes, colors, and everything. It's been posited before that the island is somehow lies on a major migration path or something like that, and this happens to be the season. Shafira doesn't really speak up because with Varial's disappearance, none of you can communicate really well. But she does sort of gesture.
Gesture.
As if she's asking you if she wants you to lead you somewhere.
Nod.
I'm gonna ask her for like a basic like I'm gonna try to like sort of like point and like question or something to like what she wants us to do, and since to get a word out of her, we can like slowly translate everything, and eventually I'll learn the entire language.
Can you? And I would point at whoever it was that said they can do comprehend languages.
Yeah.
Can you cast
Yes.
your language spell on other things?
I have no clue off the top of my head.
Is it touch or self?
Yeah.
Self.
I mean-
yeah.
So,
Self only. Okay, because I was going to say we can just talk to her at least then. But
granted, she won't know that we could understand her.
could you maybe use your comprehend languages and see what she's saying?
Yes. Give me a second. And Zori, from within her cloak, she pulls out this kind of staff, and it's just a fairly looking staff, and over on the end of it, it's got this black serpent that kind of coils around to the tip of it. Its mouth kind of extending with this small little orb inside of it. And you see the orb glow for a second as she casts comprehend languages on herself, and then she kind of shifts to the bird and just says, I will be able to understand you, so anything you need to say, go through me.
Can you speak with comprehend languages, or is it just?
No.
No, I can understand, so I'm trying to like relate to her
Gotcha.
that I can understand her.
Maybe
Hold up.
maybe like a mimey hand thing.
Yeah, this is where I come in handy, and I will perform what he's saying.
Just the most
Okay.
amazing gamer charade.
We got it.
So we know how to talk to things we can't talk to now.
And
I
there's
just need to roll
definitely,
while I'm
sort of a eureka moment as we get the concepts down on a, rather roundabout, but as it turns out, fairly effective way of communicating. Shafira sort of repeats, I could lead you to the Grove.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Is that where we're heading?
She says that she can lead us to the grove if that's where we're heading.
And I would
Next
mind
perform.
back with 2 big thumbs up and a bow for thank you.
Nodding is sort of universal, by the way.
But Nick still does a performance for it. Okay.
So she would take
We
you
would
to
Which
the
one?
square I had just revealed, which I'm going to make a mark on.
Wait, well, God, girl, where's the thing? I don't see.
Oh, that's
I
not
got
a
my
mark at all.
game. Oh, right there, up there. I see.
Does that burn spell slots for you to use comprehend languages?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's one of those things.
not
Elvish
the-
Blast.
Yes, I know, but still.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of my spells are mostly just
Oh,
support
no.
spells anyway, so.
Do you not have it as a ritual? Because it can be taken as a ritual.
I cannot ritual cast unless
Warlock
I take Pact of the
Cannot,
Tone.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I
okay.
think it's like a fate thing. Ritual.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a packed feature or what.
Right, but I mean,
Do you guys
Unless
see that
we get-
teal little dot?
yeah, we see it.
Mhm.
It means more of a dash, but so, sure. Do we?
definitely
I mean, unless we get stopped, I assume we just head straight there.
Okay,
So, boop. Right here, correct? This was the right path.
correct.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We are approaching from the south.
I like it. Up here on the top or up here on the bottom?
The bottom.
Okay. I'll roll for initiative. Do we see anybody here?
It's a little, a little preemptive, but
I'm prepared. Prepared for anything.
Okay.
oh no,
Okay.
I accidentally almost deleted something. At least tried to.
Yeah.
The entire game.
So
I've
again,
accidentally
the new folks, you
recalled.
can bring your tokens on as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just downstairs at the moment, but I will bring my
Kevin
token
does
on when
not
I
get
get back.
updated, sadly. But
There, you get your sharper. So
Well, we
one
need
thing
names
that I
on the other
do in
tokens.
sort of situations like this, I like to do sort of movement according to initiative. So go ahead
Don't
and roll
make us
for
move.
initiative. This
Don't
is only
make us move on initiative. This isn't a combat, is it? Oh. Ugh.
okay.
I just wanted to talk to a druid.
No. That's gonna happen a lot, by the way. Single
Yeah.
digit.
Don't worry.
Initiative
It
for me.
Why am I
happens for me,
not rolling
and
my
I don't even have a negative
initiative?
multiplier.
There we go, I'm a 10. Now I'm
Yep,
leading the pack.
You want me to roll one for you, Sharfer, if you're still downstairs?
Yes, please.
I would love to.
I need you to hack into my computer.
Well, I mean, a 16, way at the top.
Rogues.
Yep.
How we
Doing
get
the
to
roll.
work for Shuffle?
2 seconds. This map's just loading in for me.
Oh.
I just made it back up. I am going to. I'm gonna try and hide, and then just hold off on my movement. until I see what
So hold
everyone else is
on. Because as we're sort of getting here, Shafir would speak up. I believe you. It's long enough, duration that.
How long? Yeah, how long does
Actually,
comp
it's been.
last?
An hour.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
How long? we walk
Chances
right
are,
through
with the
there?
wind behind us, we're just
We probably
within
make
then.
it,
Yeah. Shafira would say that it is dangerous because of the guardians that live here.
Mix, perform.
And I would form and mime back that can she handle herself?
Well, I was asking what are the guardians? Like what should we be on the lookout for?
Or that thing.
They're
To be fair, that'd probably be easier to mime too. So yeah, it would be what are we looking for?
they're things. They're blobs. They take
Ooze.
organic matter and digest it into mulch, fertilizer.
Yay, puddings. So chances are it's puddings or slimes or something. That's not too bad. Could be better.
Litmus
Level
skills.
7 oozes.
That would be terrible.
Okay, so again, even though we're sort of doing this thing, it's all a little loosey-goosey as we're moving. We don't have to necessarily move in order, but, if we want to do things like perception, or stealthing, or things like that, now's the time to sort of do them.
Yeah, going to move slowly.
Nyx would start heading
Do
over
we have double
towards-
movement right now? Or
You do have double movement right now.
going to walk up to, since I can move 60 feet right now, move right to here. So tell me if that's a stop-worthy move.
That is stop-worthy movement.
Where should I stop?
I can move up to 80, by the way.
Oh god.
But I'm stealthing, so I'm gonna stay behind beneath one of the.
I could technically move to 100.
I would be
Do it, Trevor. Just right 100.
checking the water. To see
That's why,
if it is
that's why I didn't move
indeed
all the
water.
way to. I feel like if there's an ooze or something, it's probably in the water.
So whatever these trees are, particularly these ones towards the center, they're things that you've never seen before, and you can see
Never
them
seen it
from where they are. It looks like a fruit, but it's definitely luminescent. It's giving off some sort of light.
I
I've never
want some of
Tree
those.
before.
And I would test the water to see if it's actually water. I would probably start by kicking a stone into it.
You die.
It plops into the water. It's rather clear, rather clean, and fairly deep for what it is. Looking into it, it looks like it's about 15 feet deep, and it reaches that depth very quickly.
How tall is this tree over here?
What, this tree over here?
Yeah.
All the trees are pretty decent size. They're probably all somewhere around the order of 40 or so feet high.
40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. 40 or so feet high. So we would be able to create a bridge if we felled one.
Actually, is it shallow on the other side? Like, can I walk out if I get to the other side?
If you could get to the other bank, swimming across, you could come out, no problem. It's not like it's a high bank or anything like that.
We're
Okay.
looking for oozes, correct?
Yes.
We probably shouldn't.
That's
swim through
kind
the
of what
water.
I'm thinking. I mean, just because the water's clear doesn't mean the oozes won't be clear in the water.
Yes, swimming through the water. As Shafir just said, there's some gooey slime-like guardian around here that turn things to mulch. If they're
Is it-
hiding somewhere, it'd be in the water.
Is this an archway or a cave or what?
It looks like an
what is this?
archway. It looks like a decorative archway here at the whatever this is.
Okay. And the
I'm
same
gonna
on the
roll
other side?
perception. No one's rolled perception yet, have they?
No.
I was
And
gonna
I
say I
will
was
roll.
gonna do one too.
I'll do a perception. 17. Mostly looking at the water and maybe like the island-esque area.
Other
Maybe I move,
than the fact that there's like this thick sort of mulch that's pretty much just everywhere, very rich and whatnot, you don't see anything strange.
That said, I mean, looks pretty clear.
I mean, the whole place does look a little strange. It looks like it's been purified as to everything you've seen. While, you know, the rest of the trees in the rest of the forest that you've been going through is certainly in fine and healthy condition, this seems like pristine and almost picturesque. You know, this is the ideal bit of water. These are the ideal trees. It is the ideal grass. It's lush, it's flowing. It looks perfect.
Maybe
Just
we
in
should
the
just call
island?
out.
Very much so in the island. It does extend to the entire sort of outskirts of this area as well.
I think we should just call for somebody.
I'm just gonna go ahead and swim.
Wait. What if we tipped oil in the water?
I mean, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna try swimming.
Because
It's
if we tipped oil in the water and the Goo Guardian was in the water, he would get pissed off at that, and we would find out if he was in the water, right?
I would suggest that maybe we
Let me use the
see
restroom.
if he was around
30
It's-
seconds
before
or
we
45 seconds.
dive into the water and piss
I
off.
mean,
They're gonna be like, "Who the fuck just swam in my
Before
pool?"
before
In the
Kaya
whole
jumps in, I would do this on her. So you'd basically just feel like you walked through spider webs and you can resist it. It doesn't take anything to resist and it instantly nullifies the effect. But it means if you get knocked out in the water somehow, just magically, then I can at least pull you back.
yeah. Alright. Well,
Would you tell them that's what you're doing?
No,
Alright, I'm back.
I mean it would literally just like feel like she
Okay.
walked through a spider web as she left the bush.
All right, Grim. Well, of course, what's it? Name? Aya is just jumping in the water.
I don't know if I would be stopped, but I'm gonna try and swim across.
You're probably gonna get stopped. You're probably getting murdered by uses.
You're not murdered by oozes. Shafira would, you know, shout, "Be careful! They're incredibly hard to see."
Hold it.
Whether that would stop you or not, well, that's up to you.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay. You can go ahead and move yourself where you would go.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and move a little bit and then try and see if I can see anything in the while I'm in the water as soon as I go in.
Sure. You can go ahead and give me a perception check, if you please.
Okay.
Nothing. Like, if there is something in the water, it's been rendered almost totally invisible because
Okay.
the water is crystal clear. It doesn't appear as if there's any fish in it or anything like that.
And if I don't see anything, I'm gonna try swimming to the other side.
Mm-hmm. And you can go ahead and move up to your movement, which is actually doubled
I
right
was
now.
here, so I would be. And I have a swimming speed, so
I can't remember.
Get
Can
over here.
people? Can other people see my aura?
Only I
I
can,
don't see any
believe.
aura on you.
Only you can. Okay.
okay. So I'm not gonna move all the way to the end. So I'm gonna just be be down here. Am I still? Would I still be stealthing? I mean, I just ran through. No. So yeah, just walk over to the edge, about as far as I can. Can move a
Okay.
little bit farther, but I'm not gonna move any farther.
All right. Who mouse?
Well,
Or
what's
what are
exactly
the
the
rest of us
plan?
doing?
Are we just gonna try to ford this? Because well, being on the island is necessarily a good thing.
I've got both my hands full currently, so I can't do much for the moment.
Like I said, I think we should just like yell out for a druid or something like that, because we're here to look for a druid. So, and we don't have hostile intents. So, if we just say, "Hey, is there a druid here?" Maybe like, "Yo, on this tree. How's it going?" We're like, "Oh, nice to meet you."
Tythrin does kind of have a point.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if no one has any objections, then that's what I would do. So, Grim, what would my yell? Do you want me to roll anything? Do you just want me to say I yell?
No, yeah, you could just
What do I
yell.
yell?
I mean,
What do you
what do you
say?
yell?
I'm gonna say,
Start screaming your head off.
"Hello, is there any druids around here? We were brought here by Shafira in need of assistance."
So there would be no call. But Shafira would come and put sort of, a wing on you and certainly look at you quizzically. And, what are you doing?
I mean, I don't know what she's saying.
I understand, but somebody does.
But then, I mean, at the same time, we gotta like mime back to her as well. So, and since Nyx has her hands full, I don't think we're gonna be able to get back to like communicating to her. So, like, unless she like, I mean, I might look down to her, but I don't.
But it doesn't stop you from shouting.
I mean, I would have shouted like once and like waited for a reply. If nothing came, I'm not gonna sit there and just yell and like over and over again.
Okay.
But like,
After he yells, can I just look around take a perception around the area to see if like there's any movements?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
the slime's moving.
No, the only thing that's sort of disturbing the stillness is you all.
Hmm.
Do you think maybe this is where the druids come to just die? Maybe?
Maybe.
And it's more of a natural kind of place? Naturally protected rather than actually protected?
Maybe we should ask Shafira.
I
Are
would.
you?
Yeah, I'd drop my willing puppet on. Is it Kaya or Carla? Kaya.
Fire.
Just when I'm zoomed out, it looks like Carla. And kind of mime back, like, does something besides the slimes live here?
Well, no. I mean, it's just the Guardians.
Ah. I'd take a little bit of a sigh of relief and be like, oh, that's less of an issue.
But is that a good thing? Because that means there's nobody here to communicate with, you know.
It
The
also
village.
means a reasonably safe. I mean, those villagers probably stay out of here for superstition reasons more than anything. Assuming that the entire river isn't some form of slime, I mean, they can be irritating, but they're not exactly difficult to deal with. It may be a good place for the others to come if they don't want to be interrupted by the villagers.
Surely you're not suggesting we, defile what could potentially be, a graveyard to.
Well,
the
maybe
people
not
of the-
maybe not bring them to this clearing exactly, but this area, I mean, no doubt there's at least some land around this area that the villagers would, avoid for the most part, and only the braver ones would venture there. Although it may mean that they run into that Hess chick.
So at some point,
Well, I mean-
Shafira in between that, and I don't exactly didn't want to interrupt the conversation, but
Sure.
were you looking for Kisk, the old druid? She's long dead.
Oh, it is a graveyard. And I guess
We've known that the druid's dead for a while now.
I mean, yeah, but the
They
village
did tell
made
us
it.
back at the village.
Yeah, but the village made it sound like there were
Multiple of them. Or something.
multiple and living here and everything. Like this is where druids went to essentially retire and live out the last of their days. But it may just be literally this is where they curl up and die.
I've died. I've become a punk. Okay.
I mean,
So,
chances are, not that I know too much about druids or magic in general, but from what tales I have heard, the trees could be the past druids for all we know.
I mean, is there anything for us here anymore? It's clearly there are no druids.
What about the fruit on that tree? And
Yes,
I point to
I-
the glowing fruit.
Would you mind
I mean,
picking me a few of those?
We probably best
Sure.
not eat the unknown fruit of this place.
I won't
Stop.
necessarily eat them.
We
I
move
would also.
right here.
yeah.
And unfortunately, there's not like really a good sort of picture I found of this one.
Oh, is that the Molchus?
Oh, good.
I would have
But
also.
It is an ooze. It is
The
level
rapid
7.
compost pile.
Excuse
As Kaya started
me.
walking a bit further away, I'd also warn her, don't go too much further or I can't help
Too
you.
late.
Oh yeah, I
too
know.
late.
Like, I imagine Nyx is literally saying this as the slime is starting to, attach to Kaya or whatever.
So two things,
dead.
they have an
Reroll
ability
here.
called false appearance. Can't tell what they are, and so let us read a little bit of stuff right here.
You're about to kill this character.
I sure hope not.
Welcome.
Welcome
So,
to D&D.
you are engulfed as it moves into you. What it is, you get to make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. If you make it, you're sort of not engulfed by it, actually. And instead, you're pushed 5 feet of your choice.
Sure.
You make it. So you are pushed sort of 5 feet away. You do
Okay.
take.
I'm gonna go here.
I believe that's actually it. Yes. So there we are. One thing we can do is we can keep our initiatives we have currently, or we can re-roll initiatives. I do not mind either way.
I would
We
like
can
to
just
reroll
keep on.
mine.
I'd like
yeah,
to
we
re-roll,
can
given that. Yeah.
See,
2
I
votes
don't
for
mind.
re-roll,
I
1
don't-
vote
I
for
don't-
keep.
I don't
I
mind
mean-
re-rolling.
I'm fine.
Alright,
Okay.
reroll all
Alright, we'll go ahead and re-roll.
If anything,
No,
just
it's
for
just
Kaya's
initiative
sake,
or
and watch
anything.
as she rolls a 1.
Unless they're rolling exactly the same roll. Just 1-0, actually, but still.
So,
Oh my
so
God.
who rolls a 1?
Both of
who,
us.
who rolls a 1?
I think
Who's
on
rolled a
average-
16 with a -3.
I think on
It's
average,
fine. I'm cursed on my initiative, so it's fine. I expected it.
on average, we rolled lower on that initiative as a party. Unless Tythrin saves us, which they would have
I
if
got a
they had clicked
13.
their token.
I did click my token.
Well, you didn't, because it didn't go to the initiative.
No.
um,
I mean, that's just roll 20 being.
Grim's just put it in
Put-
anyway, just
yeah,
rolling the
just
initiative.
roll anything and you can put in 13.
Was I did not appear on it?
It's probably because whenever you're
I mean-
trying to roll, you're doing one of those weird things where you briefly don't exist during roll 20.
Maybe. Maybe. Imagine a world where roll 20 just isn't.
There, I mean,
Oh.
13.
I don't think it even changes the order, does it? Yeah, just leave me at 12.
I
then.
don't believe so.
Imagine
Okay,
the world
so
if you rolled PDD.
Nice. We're all slower now.
on the top of the initiative order, the Use is going to attack Kaya with its pseudopod. Excuse me, a 5
You just
Misses.
assume the
Okay.
gender.
misses. It will move onto your square and attempt to engulf you again. So,
Okay.
dexterity saving throw,
let
DC 12.
Time to save again. 15. Okay.
You make it, and you're moved 5.
Push back again, and it does 3 damage. They take the full damage always, or do they take
Let me check.
half?
Hold on.
If you can move to like here, I can pull you most of the way over the water. Wait, do we still have double movement?
On a failed save, yeah,
Yeah.
you take that whole 2d6. No, wait.
I still take
That's on a
full
failed
damage.
save.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
On a successful save, it only says that I get pushed back 5 feet.
Yeah, so you'll still take the damage, you just don't get
Mhm.
engulfed.
Yeah, I don't think. Since the damage seems to be tied to fail.
On a failed save, that is enters the creature's space, and the creature takes
Right.
2d6 as a
You
damage.
have
Oh,
to
okay.
fail for you to take damage from it. This is sort of
so you
like
haven't taken any damage.
it's coming close to you and you're quickly backing off as you see it, basically.
Okay, so I don't take any damage.
Correct.
Not from either of
that
them.
I'm-
Not from either.
Okay, then I'm at full.
Tythrin, it is your turn.
Yep, it's my turn. All right. How I don't know what my swim speed is because I don't think I have a swim speed.
So
If you don't have, it's 15. If you don't have any.
Yeah.
okay, then there you go.
Half your movement.
So we still have double movement though,
you
correct?
still have double movement.
So I can spend one whole movement turn basically swimming through the river,
Mm-hmm.
and I can spend the second one walking up to the
Yes.
granted. God, I really hope. I mean, it's a thing of mulch. Surely it's not acidic, right? Right.
Ooh, I mean,
I mean, it's doing as it
I mean, right?
It's commonly
We'll find
accepted
out.
that slimes are acidic, not alkaline.
Yeah. But I mean, it could just be not acidic. Man. I mean, they got extra foils back at the the camp, I'm sure. So right. I mean, I'm just gonna flail the ooze.
Okay.
And I don't think it's gonna hit because the 10.
No, that hits.
It hits, nice.
Mm-hmm.
For 9 damage.
It is quite
Cool.
large. It's pretty hard to miss, and it's not really
I guess, yeah,
dodging
large creatures-
well.
I guess large creatures have like negative AC and all.
Doesn't
No,
have
that's just a
resistance.
3.5 thing. But
Oh my god.
Does it have resistance?
Does my foil disappear when I come back and I just have like a chain?
it does not.
You're
It does
sure
not
that
appear to corrode your weapon, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Alright.
Sharper's turn.
Sharper.
So,
And I tell Kaya to probably like back up.
so I'm going to use the bonus action dash to get around to here.
You
So
probably
don't-
don't even need a bonus action dash. You
I think I might need to because of the river.
swimming he does, yeah.
So,
okay.
but I don't need my bonus action, so it doesn't really matter
So that's
either way.
5 and another 15. Yeah, that's
Can you flank
20.
it?
Yes. You can flank any hostile thing, unless it has rules
Flank
against
the
flanking.
use.
Wouldn't it get Oh no, I guess you just walk around the edges, so you don't
Yeah.
get
I,
That's a
opportunity.
hit.
I tried to walk around to not get the op. I stab the use.
It eats your rapier.
It's a half decent damage roll.
Mm-hmm. Kaya, it is your turn.
Okay. So saying that everyone is now coming this way. I'm gonna stay here. Actually, no, I'm gonna move. No. Is it advantage a thing?
I can pull
Flanking,
you
I think?
across if
Yeah,
you need
flanking.
to.
Yeah,
Because-
I came around for
Mhm.
flanking.
Okay. Then I'm gonna attack it in melee range with my boomerang. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's crit.
Okay, that's 6.
Can you melee with the boomerang?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I could use my fists as well if I was melee. I can do unarmed strikes. I'm a monk.
I just didn't know if like a boomerang is something that like causes
I would
opportunity.
consider it the same.
It's kind of basically a big stick.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
you're slapping.
So you can
And it does the
basically
same
use-
damage, so it's not. I wouldn't see any issue with it.
Right, Azori.
I just didn't know if it was like considered a ranged weapon. Is all.
Technically, and I'm going to also use 1 key point, or
Mm-hmm.
of course the
Okay.
monk thing. Eldritch Blast.
Zori's going to take out her crossbow.
Oh wait, I wasn't
Load
done.
Okay, hold on. There's still... Yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah, doing the bonus section for the
Mhm.
flurry, the
That's a hit.
no, doing the key point for the flurry of blows and do 2 more strikes. So 4 bludgeoning, and then I'm gonna do a headbutt. Another crit. Okay. And then that would be my turn.
Okay.
So Zori's going to take out her crossbow, load a bolt, and fire it at the ooze.
Mm-hmm. That's a hit.
Okay. Okay, 7. And then Kaya's the only one that's been hit so far, right?
No one's been.
I
hit,
don't believe
No,
anyone
not
has
really.
been hit.
Oh, so no one's
I've
taking
been
any damage?
pushed back.
No one's
so-
taken any damage. At the very least.
So wait, yes or no?
Nobody's
no
been
one's
hit.
hurt.
Yep.
Okay. All right, then that'll be my turn.
All right, Nyx.
My turn. Save us, Nyx. Chester, get him.
Oh, I did not roll.
Yeah.
Shafir.
Mr. Attack.
I
Can
don't
Jessica
really
like eat
have
ooze?
Wyatt ranged things.
Oh,
That'd-
Chester absorbs the ooze. Maybe he becomes a mimic.
That'd be cool.
This is his origin story.
So I guess I'll just stay there actually and reattach to Kaya in case she goes down. I mean, how healthy do you look like in general health? Like, how much HP do you have? Does 1 or 2 hits put you at worry? Or oh wait, no,
I mean-
Oxlori's the healer, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, no, never mind then. Kaya, I thought Kaya was the healer. That's my bad then.
I'm a monk. And I'm fine just being there.
Yeah, I guess I will just watch. Remind them to grab me a berry or two.
There you on.
All right. So, Sharfer is 1. Tythrin is 2. Kaya is 3.
You're saying this ooze doesn't meticulously target people?
It is not.
I mean, it's meticulously targeting me.
No, there's 3 equal
Goodbye,
parts.
Sharper.
That is Kaya. 14. Does that hit?
Oh.
14 is my AC, so it does.
Okay.
Oh.
You ignore the second bludgeoning and the second acid, but it's still a really big hit.
A really big hit, yeah.
It's still 14.
We need a healer.
And then
6, 9, that's...
it surges forward
Okay, now I am really low.
30 feet and
I know I
attempts
should
to
have
engulf
attached my
you
will
both.
of it.
Wait, it surge? What is it taking us
It
with
moves
it? Or?
forward, yes. It's
Okay.
attempting to take you both in.
But
Oh,
like, are
God.
we being with it regardless, or only if it hits us?
Only if you fail your dexterity saving throw.
Well, dexterity is what I'm really good at.
Oh wait,
so-
that's not a saving throw. That's a efficiency, but still.
Um,
I don't know if you
Parameters.
want me to reroll the +2.
Do you have proficiency in dex?
Yes, I do.
So it's probably just 2, so 8.
I wouldn't make it anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I'm dead.
So, Tythrin, you move 5 feet to the side, either adjacent or whatever. Kaya gets engulfed, and we can tell that Kaya has gone down. She is not conscious. She is not struggling inside the ooze. So things are rather dangerous at this moment in time.
Oh god. Is it like
Yeah.
floating on the water? What's the ooze doing?
It is
like,
in
sunk?
the water. It is not
So,
floating
like,
on it. It's sort of
melting? Is it
swimming
dead?
through it. Is it what?
Like dead because it's melting?
It is not dead. It is not melting.
Does it float? Does it
It's been
Like an
really nice playing with you, Kaya.
Oh, it's not like floating.
Yeah.
It's like
What's your next-
partially in, partially out of the water. You know, it appears. I mean,
Maybe-
it's not like
Maybe I'm
swimming.
overthinking.
It's not moving like that. You're definitely overthinking it.
I'm sorry
What's
that I
your
like
next
to
character?
enjoy immersion. It's like, oh, it's just, everywhere at once. It contains a 100-foot radius.
I also forgot to roll. So I
Oh,
will
no.
add her on there as well, because it might be
We're all
necessary.
2D creatures.
She was just
on
very
the
confused for
TV.
round.
Tythrin, it is your turn.
Oh god, my best friend. I knew her so little, and yet she's just been eaten by insects. Is this land or water? Here.
This is right here? Land.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh, actually, it wouldn't have. No, it doesn't matter and stuff like this. Wait a second. God damn it! I'm so stupid. Because wasn't Kaya getting attacked?
Yeah.
I can actually be. I could have blocked that. I forgot I even have blocked, but that would have actually prevented the damage of that.
mean, it would
I
have
don't
still
know.
gotten engulfed, but
You would have gotten engulfed, but you would have at least not been slapped for like 14 damage. I don't know if
yeah,
Grim
that's true.
would be like, well, I didn't do it then, so it's too late. But I do, because she was standing next to me. And I think I give like a disadvantage on the roll. But I think I have to do that before.
I'm afraid.
It would have hit anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have? Oh, that was the 2? Oh. Alright, well, if it didn't matter, it didn't matter. So, yeah, it was. Okay, okay. I actually thought that protection just gave like a flat 1c. Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna run over here. Actually, Grim, this is gonna be a bit of a complicated question. But, because it's gonna, like, there's no set thing. But, is an ooze pullable by a harpoon? I would probably
Oozes are
assume
very heavy. They are deceptively heavy. Generally, they weigh, on the orders of thousands of pounds.
oh, he's like a super heckin' chonker.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure I can pull a few thousand pounds. Maybe, probably not. Okay then. If you're saying this guy is like the thousands of pounds, I'll just bludgeon him again with the harpoon, or not the harpoon, the flail, since that's what I have in my hand right now. Slapping it, I don't think an 8's gonna. Surely is more than 8 AC, right?
No,
Why
8
am I
hits.
rolling death saves.
So bad about it for. And also, since things are pretty bad, I can use action surge, which I believe just gives me another attack, or at least another action.
Yeah,
Can I
another
hit it
action,
again?
which can be an attack.
So I'm gonna hit it a second time, try to take it down,
That's a hit.
which will hit. 5 damage.
It's beginning to sort of lose some of itself. Like, it's getting fuzzy on the edges, as it were. It is the ooze equivalent of being bloodied.
It's good.
It's good. Shafira will come forward and will attempt to attack it.
Can we like pull Kaya out of it?
No, I wouldn't be able to because it can't be resisted whatsoever. Even with her being unconscious, the thing holding onto her would be resistance.
I see.
Sharfer, it is your turn.
Yes, Can I fight in the water? Is that something I can do?
That little piece right there, that's enough land that you can stand there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come down here and...
Is it though? Because he's a halfling, that should technically count as water.
You're on like your tippy toes.
Barely hit with a tip. Just a tip.
I mean, you can attack while swimming, but it's
And then I'm gonna do the same thing again and stab the goo. Hopefully not stab the person inside the goo.
Luckily, that is not a danger, and that does hit. Kaya.
that's safe.
Yes, please.
Man, how does Saphira
Okay.
That's a...
Saphira do so much damage, man?
Because she's strong.
Like her
'Cause
bird
it's a
legs do
D8.
more, like as much damage
Yeah,
as a
D8.
flail does.
Well, she's based off a monster, basically, so things happen like that.
I
She
get
has incredibly long and incredibly sharp talons that she uses to a deadly effect.
I like it.
Azori, it is your turn.
Okay.
We need
Azori's
a
gonna
hero.
hold up. Yeah, Azori's gonna hold up her hands as 3 orbs of light appear in it, and she's going to toss it at Kaya and use her healing light feature. So that will be 7 points of healing.
Okay, thank you. Hope it saves. I hope I don't die immediately.
Hopefully not. And then for Azori's action, she's going to hold up her staff and point at the ooze and cast Guiding Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the pieces not
That's a hit.
containing Kaya, I hope.
That is quite the
Whoa.
hit.
Actually,
That is a
I have an
great
interesting question.
Mhm.
If so, you can't like if we stab the ooze, we can't hurt the person's side.
No.
But what about AOE spells? Like, what if I cast like Fireball on the
Hit.
ooze?
Yes, that affects them because they're still within the area
would,
of the
yeah.
effect.
Yeah. But I think that would be an
Definitely.
auto fail.
Yeah,
That doesn't
'cause
make
they
any
are
sense.
grappled.
And that will be my turn, so whoever hits it next also has advantage.
Any movement?
Yeah, I will actually. Hold on.
It can jump
Don't take
like
that quick.
30 feet or something.
I still
like that.
don't know how far it can move. At least 30 feet, yeah.
Sorry, man, we're back.
It moved 25 last turn, so
Yeah, that'd be
30.
Nix, it is your turn.
What would it take to pull Kaya out of the slime? Because, I mean, we basically can't see the slime that's in the water, so I assume it's clear enough that we can clearly see her. So, you know, perceiving her isn't the issue. It's the taking the damage from the acid yourself and actually pulling her out. What would you
Unfortunately,
need
like,
to do that?
while the water is clear, the Mulchus most certainly is not clear. Like, she is
okay.
somewhere inside this thing, which looks like, you know, very fine mulch. You know, it's dirt, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's
that's
disguised to
positive,
look like it, so you can't really make Kaya out inside this thing.
Oh, that's what I
How
was
do I not
asking. What
stab
would
her?
it require to physically pull her out ourselves? Or myself? In
Killing
terms
it,
of rolls and damage and stuff. Because we can keep pumping healing into her all day, but that won't matter much when she's going to be drowning as well as aciding to death consistently.
just kill it. I think it's our best bet.
I
mean-
can't. Against a
can't?
slime. Like, a slime is one thing I cannot really do much damage to.
Shoot it. You have a pistol.
And annoy every other slime in the area?
Just shoot it. I mean, if I've already yelled.
I mean, a pistol is certainly much louder than yelling.
Yeah.
You underestimate how loud I yell.
But it's a Warforged yelling.
I you know,
Very
my
lucky.
police box is a pistol.
Yeah.
Your hope for pulling Kai out, honestly, is killing it.
Okay. I'll just
Just like punch it.
miss.
No, it'd be only 11.
7 hits?
No. Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
7 hits for
So does
5.
Is guiding bolt just a melee thing, or does shooting it get the advantage too?
Excuse me, 7 hits,
believe
yeah,
that-
let alone 11.
hold
I think
on.
it's just next attack on guiding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Guiding
believe
Bolt-
so too, but let me.
Yeah, that was
The next
also why I
attack
was
roll
asking.
made against the target. Yeah.
That's why I was asking, because other people could have used that advantage better than me.
It's fine.
All right.
It's a hit.
Tythrin being 1,
What's-
Shafira being 3.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
And honestly,
What about
considering its
Sharper?
AC, Guiding Bolt is
I also
kinda
take
useless.
the acid
Sharp
damage
too.
at the start of its turn.
Please don't eat
Yes.
Shafir.
So it is
So
6
it
acid
is.
damage. I think.
I don't actually have that somewhere. Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, 3d6 acid damage.
Oh, we'll reroll that one because I didn't have the GM turned on.
It's going for sharp.
Yeah, I'm down. Again.
Oh, shit.
So we'd attack Shafira.
Isn't Sharper was 3?
No,
Shafira was 2.
1, 2, 3 is what I said.
I thought you said Shafir was 2.
No. I said
Pretty sure you did.
Tithrin 1 and Shafira 3. I didn't say Sharfer at all. It just implied that he was 2.
Fair then. I just heard Shafir twice, so I thought, or second, so I thought she was twice.
Ah, Shafira is bloodied.
No.
There's good
Fuck
news
you.
and there is some not so great news.
Oh, no.
Kaya, you are ejected out of the ooze. The ooze travels to the north.
No.
What?
Mhm.
Please don't do
Dicks?
You would be
Uh,
right where you are. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She's not
Oh.
dead. She's just bloodied.
Oh god, she died. Oh, no.
Tytherin, Sharfer, deck save.
Question: Is this
Dick
considered?
saved.
Is this considered like something that's gonna knock me down? Probably not.
Would
Would
physically
it knock
move it?
you down? It would not knock you down. It
Well,
completely
because
engulfs
I
you.
get,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I get
understand.
advantage on that stuff, but
Mhm.
okay, I'm fine.
Sharfer, you get to go 5 in any direction. Same with Tytherin.
I shall go that
Um,
direction.
I'll just
Excuse me,
walk.
off to the side, not any direction.
I'll jump in the water.
Tytherin, it's your turn, though.
This man's days of being slime. In his whole career, his whole slimy career. I'm gonna stand to the side of it, so if it jumps, it's jumping not back towards everybody. That way Sharper can flank it.
Yeah.
Well, I look at my flail. We're hitting with the trusty flail.
It's a
Hasn't
hit.
done me wrong. Damage.
And 11 is enough to bring it down.
Yeah. What happens when it dies?
So
Right,
it
Stefan.
moves over to. Excuse me. It moves over to Shafira. There's not a lot Shafira can do to help. She does grab you and pull you onto the shore, or at least the bank, however.
Okay.
Then
But
Kaya-
administering medical aid is beyond her abilities.
Isn't Kaya already conscious because she got healed?
She
No,
went
I
back
died
down.
again because of the
Oh, I see.
This is
okay.
acid damage. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
can't
not
give
bad.
her health because I don't have a medicine kit, but can I stop it dying?
We're still acting in initiative order.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharper.
Well, I'll try and stabilize since
Okay.
we're not in combat right at the moment.
I always forget how medicine works as far as stabilizing goes.
I don't have a healer's kit or anything.
I'm pretty sure that just means you can't wake them up. You still need to take a rest and everything.
I was about to say, sorry, it has some healer's kit.
Yeah, would I be able to use the just to take bits out of your pouches and use them on you?
It makes sense.
I mean, have you?
I mean, you're not going to stop me, are you?
There's a
DC
medicine
10 wisdom medicine check. A stable creature doesn't make death throws, even though it has 0 hit points, but it does remain unconscious. Saving stops being stable if it takes some damage.
Yes. So basically,
Rough 10.
Or 1d4 hours after stabilization.
right. You're skipping this stuff. You're still down. You don't gain any HPs, but you do not need to make a saving throw when it comes around to your turn again. We just skip it entirely,
Okay.
basically. You neither gain nor do you lose as far as things go. Zori.
Okay. So they managed to stabilize Kaya, right?
She's
Stabilized, yes.
not exactly.
She's stable, but she's not conscious.
Yes.
1d4 hours, she will get 1 HP and be conscious again.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Okay, I was about to say because there's nothing really else I can do at the moment.
You take a
it-
short rest and
Yeah, I was say we need to take a short rest.
And I would wake up in a short rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shafira
With my
we probably
would say something to anyone who is listening, which are none of you, but she would gesture excitingly, pointing in the opposite direction and sort of shooing us away. She would point at the mulch and hold up. She doesn't have fingers. She would hold up more than one wingtip.
I don't think birds can articulate their wingtips.
It's not so much. No, it's very difficult.
But she's not
mean,
a bird.
And
She
she
gets
just
a
only
little
one
bit
leg.
more from being awakened. Don't get me wrong. She's definitely a bit more.
Hythrin, why go
So
over
what's
there?
happening with the Welch?
Don't forget the berries.
I am gonna forget the berry.
So we went through all that for nothing.
Oh my god. Is it low hanging or am I gonna have to climb this stupid tree?
I mean, like, you would have to climb the tree.
Not
The
quite.
berries, they just waited and
They're
watched
not
us fight.
berries exactly. They're fruit too. They're fairly large size. They're like fist size.
So, like, I'm gonna say that, like, look, it's way too high up, and we don't know what else is over here. I'm coming back up. Like, let me ask this: are there any fruits on the ground by any chance?
No.
I mean,
tree.
yeah, like, I just like trying to harpoon one down, but
You could.
oh gosh. I mean, if I miss, what's the worst that happens? Sure. Or
Pretty
I
slime.
will begrudgingly, for you guys, I will try to grab one fruit. Sure. I will take my harpoon out. I will chuck it for. Do you want me to do an attack roll? Would you like me to do it? Like a
No.
dexterity?
I mean, no. Look, if you want to do an attack roll for it, you can do an attack roll for it.
Athletics, maybe?
Not really athletics. Like climbing the tree is
Jack,
athletics.
Dexter? What is it? Acrobatics?
You know what? Make an attack roll.
Okay. I attack the fruit. It is a 7. Do I have
You
advantage on
missed.
the fruit? Do I have advantage on the fruit, Grim? It's
The
not
fruit
moving.
was unsuspecting. It was unaware of your presence. You have advantage on
The
it.
sneak attack.
Exactly.
Because I'm not gonna
Roll for damage to see if
It's
you
not
destroy it.
damage.
make you
I need
guys
a
roll
dexterity.
100 times while you're.
Trying to
She
get
needs
some
to-
fruit.
Because
I
you
need a
hear a loud
dexterity
noise
save.
coming from the other side of the
Tree.
sort of pond. And sure enough, there is another of the mulchuses that has slipped into the water. It's very visible at this point.
Okay. Hey, Graham, I'm gonna need a dexterity save to see if I harpoon the fruit.
Sure. You do.
Doesn't dodge. Okay. I pull my harpoon in, and I take it, and I immediately. I assume we still have like the wind at our back.
Yep.
Okay, well, I can pretty much swim to the other side of the bank. I come back over, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know if anyone else knows, but I'll be like, hey, there was an ooze to the north. We need to leave now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd hold out my hand for the fruit first.
Are the fruits very
Moves
big,
30
or is
feet closer. Zoom.
Someone has to.
Okay. Time to leave. Here, I will just I'll pick up Kaya, and we'll just leave. I mean, the fruit's on the harpoon. It's not going anywhere.
Is there even anything left of the fruit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, like, most of it's there. It's probably a bit, like, splattered.
There's just a
Good.
giant hole in it, but
Yeah, well, you know what? Beggars can't
Fine,
be choosers. I got you.
I
the
wanted
fruit.
glowing eyes for BB.
Oh,
Well, to be fair, the
you know
middle
what?
usually like.
I wanted to try what it tasted like.
You can try it when we get away from the ooze. How's that for an idea? I
Yeah.
take a Kaya and I
The
leave.
ooze moves 30 feet closer.
I've already gone. I've picked her up and I'm leaving.
And if
Don't
you're
leave
sort of
Thunderbird
looking
behind.
behind, it appears that the ooze is going through and cleaning up what blood there may be and the corpse of the other existing ooze as well.
Oh, so the janitors.
It's like a Roomba. Like a
Wait,
magical
by that
Roomba.
logic, wouldn't that mean that we're unclean then?
Unclean.
I mean, it's last time you took a shower.
Yeah.
So in what direction would we like to move?
Back to camp, I think, because we're all
the temple.
kind of like,
Towards the temple now?
Temple? Because
we
we
have
still
a
need
person down towards the temple.
Yeah. We should. How much of the day do we have left?
We've got to be like pretty much done with it.
Yeah.
We're
like,
done
how
with
much
our
about
half of the day
2, 4,
anyways.
6,
So we get to
8.
do...
We've at least like
Oh, leaving
it's pretty
leaving
much
the combat map we
like-
were on is one thing, but traveling around with an unconscious person, I'd rather not do.
Right.
So
Uh,
we should take
Yeah.
at least.
we have about 6 movement squares left before the night hit. Roughly, I've sort of lost track honestly, but
We've done about 12 actually, total. Because we're moving at 2,
mhm.
at a pace of 2,
1,
so
6,
we've done about
8.
12, so we have another 12 basically.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Because
6, 7. It took us 7 to get to the ship. One would assume we stayed there for I don't know, like an hour or so.
That's true.
Like
So what
2
we'll
movement
say-
another 4.
is...
10, 11, 12, 13. We're about, yeah, we have about 10 left
7,
then.
8, 9, 11. And then that hour is 12. Yeah.
All right. What I will do is I will note
Give us
that
some arm
down
training.
because I think right now is a pretty much perfect time to go ahead and end the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'd
Also,
like to
before we-
try to end it
Okay.
right around 12:30, give or take some time. You know, it's always a little vague as for what we're
Yeah.
doing and whatnot, but that's the idea.
God, where's my...
So I have marked down that you have about 10 miles left, and hopefully I'll remember to check it the next time we play. The fruit. Yes,
Don't forget that we got that.
believe me, I will definitely not forget that we have gotten the fruit.
I mean,
Well,
if you're right. I mean,
Get
if
rid of the
you're
fruit. It's a bad thing.
I mean, I'm not eating it. You're gonna eat it, Nick. So.
I'm not gonna eat it.
I'm gonna
I'm
eat it.
using it.
Sharf is gonna eat it.
Sharp is gonna have a little bit of it.
So
Literally.
either way, I think this was a good
Maybe not
session.
after that laugh.
Yeah, right.
That's fine.
Um,
That's good.
Certainly the combat went very different than certainly I intended when I planned it. I'm so sorry. I almost killed you in the very first episode.
I mean, it's fine. It happens.
But either way, I am
I'll leave.
so glad to have the both of you joining us, and I hope you have a
Yes.
good time as well.
Yeah.
I
I just
think
gotta remember
Yeah,
what
it was
Reaper
good.
did.
it was a good session. You know, we got a bit of stuff accomplished. We've found the rest of the crew. We have found the Druid's Grove. We've decided not to kill all the birds, although apparently somebody is doing a fairly decent job of that already. But I think everything's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've been watching, I certainly appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. All the views, they mean a lot to me. If you haven't been watching, you probably should be watching, although you will never know about this. But other than that, to everyone, I hope you all have a great day, and peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye.